Yes, sir. We officially back at it. Y'all know who it is, better yet what it is. 49th Wonder. My guy Ultra Maximus in the building. Normally we do this on Mondays, but today we doing it on a Tuesday because I had stuff to do yesterday. Man, welcome y'all to Spec Club. This is episode 9, aka Tamalegate. But as soon as I made the damn graphic and came up with a idea for the name of the show, surely DC backtracked, the artist backtracked and kind of took the whole, took a little bit of the wind out of my sails, but nonetheless, hey, we still here and it's a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. So we'll see who else pops up on the show tonight. But for right now, y'all know y'all got me and Ultra. Ultra, how you doing tonight, sir?
I guess I popped in at just the right time, right before we went live. I'm doing good. Dad life to the extreme, and got a lot of other things moving in the background as well. We're trying to make power moves, just like a chessboard.
So, yeah, you saying like you got you making power moves within your personal life, or are you talking about something bigger that like the drunken chat crew is working on?
Oh, well, that move is that's a move we're lining up right now for sure. But no, man, I'm definitely trying to make some power moves in my own personal life as far as reorganizing and just getting shit together, man. And we got some things going on, but this is why we choose comic book entertainment as a way of circumventing all of the wonderful things that is your daily tussle, your hustle, your whatever you want to call it. So we come to talk a lot of good stuff here, and yeah, it is kind of funny that DC basically like full 180, and they even made the artist put it out like, oh no, DC apologized and said that was just a rough sketch. Like, man, I don't buy that for a minute. I'm sorry, I don't buy that story for a single second.
Yeah, I don't either, man. But here go the thing about it, and just to kind of put this out there up front, I'm not really mad at that concept of him having a bag of tamales. Like, really, like the whole flag and all of that kind of threw me off more. Like, I don't know. I don't like when companies overexpose themselves to diversity. And I've always said this. Like, I'm not against diversity at all. Anybody that knows me should know that. But the overexposure to diversity to me, it comes off as fake and, for lack of a better term, pandering.
Yeah.
That's all I can really relate it to, because the truth of the matter is, if you really care about something, if it's a cause that you really want to stand up for, or something, that you just want to make sure everybody knows about this, you're gonna find a way to make that happen without it being through some form of media, right? Of course, you got to have diversity in characters and things of that nature, but a white guy flying through space with a bag of tamales is just not the way to make, to show that, hey man, we diverse and et cetera, et cetera. Like, I just don't see the point in it, man. It would have been better off just leaving that alone. Or if you're gonna do that, if you want to be diverse, just think of a more creative way to do it,
That's true, but we're talking about DC Comics, who has been doing nothing but striking out when it comes to any brave attempt at trying to make others feel inclusive. Every time they've made a big step in that direction, they've always done so by excluding a majority of their sales base, and this is reflected in books falling off the top 300. 300. Not 100, top 300.
But the thing about it is, man, is that I don't get too worked up and like outraged over, things of this nature because I kind of feel like at the end of the day, one of those things where it's one of those things where it's just not worth the energy. You know what I'm saying? Like
True.
it's not worth the energy to get that worked up over it. But it is always good to let companies know that you really don't see any value in it, right? Guys, if you haven't done so already, please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We would greatly appreciate it. I do have I do have a picture that you sent to me yesterday in the chat that I wanted to show off because I did think that this was funny. Um, I don't think it's insensitive.
Shout out to James Crowder, aka Brains, for
Yeah,
this wonderful post, man. This yesterday at the heat, the peak of all the heat going on and everybody finding out about it. This popped up in my feed. I had to screen cap it. I had to send it to the boys just so they can get a laugh out of this. But this is the long, strange trip it's been for Kyle Rayner. from fridge to tamales. It's been nothing but controversy with a whole bunch of just weird shit in between.
Kyle Rayner ain't Hispanic, is he? I mean,
He's
I'm
supposed to be, yeah. Yeah.
okay. So, man, I don't I don't know. This is almost worse as the controversial Mao issues where they tried to merge Brooklyn and Asgard together and had a Cadillac being pulled by two goats. Like I don't know what to think about this. And even
Oh,
with the Mouse thing, my whole thing was like, how did this make it past an editor, right? Like who looked at that and said, you know what, man, this'll be okay. Like
the same with the
it
miles. how did both of these companies must have a job opening for editors or editorial staff who know and see what is actually going on in the world and would see this kind of thing and be like, nah, man, but breaks right now.
right. Man, it's crazy. I don't get it, man. Like I don't get it. Like, and then what's the crazy thing about it is that is a lot of these companies push diversity and they make diversity hires, yet stuff like this still happen. E Heard, what's up, man? I gotta I gotta talk to E Heard, man. I haven't talked to my guy since I've been back from Canada. We got a lot that we need to
you, you
work
guys,
on.
you guys got another mail cast you working on?
Yeah, mailcast. We got to get the logo situation straight for the other channel. A lot to think about, bro. Something scratched me on my face right here, and it's annoying me to see this one little white dot on my face and
Mm.
all this beautiful black skin, man. I just can't. I just can't.
No,
But
you're
no,
not. You're not kidding. It's cool. It's cool.
but like I said, man, we got a lot to get into today, guys. I do want to show y'all this. Big shout out my girl Candace Barbosa because she posted this on her stories on IG, and this is the first place that I saw this at. Um, the Scotty Young Aliens #1 exclusive. $25. It's up for pre-order right now. Not trying to promote this, guys. But I guess they maybe got it says limit of any five books in any combination. Let me look at the website and see. All right, so they got unsigned for 25, signed 36, CGC 98160. Um, I mean, Scotty Young, man. I keep preaching this man. I keep preaching this man's name and telling everybody that, bro, Scotty Young is a problem, man. I think he's slept on, in my opinion. Like I think people sleep on Scotty Young, but like I said, that's just my personal opinion. Hold on, y'all. I gotta stop what I'm saying right quick because we got a first appearance. Damn, we just had two people hop in, but one of them is a first appearance. Gotta welcome my man, Rocksteady Collectibles, from the far north Canada to the stream. Rocksteady, how you doing, brother?
Good, good. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up?
Now we good, brother. Now one more person we got to introduce, and he probably gonna get his ass chewed out for hopping out on this stream because his wife going live in 16 minutes. So we're gonna be head to head with each other unless he just hopping in for a second. My boy Ant from Bird City Collectible from Bird City Comics. Ant, how you doing tonight, man?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Nothing much. I just saw you call, but obviously, I'm on the stream. We can't hear you, bro.
You muted yourself.
There you go.
I saw the link and I was like, did I miss something?
I thought the same thing.
I was like, you out picking up tamales?
You know it for
Did you see that, Ant? Did you see the Cal Rayner with the bag of tamales?
Oh yeah, I was super.
You was offended by it?
Yeah, I didn't like that. Oh hell yeah, I was.
Look,
because like if you saw
Latino,
the original piece, it was well done. I'm telling you guys, like I said, I saw the original before they changed it, and the original was represented nice, and then they changed it to that, and there's floating tamales, and I'm like, first of all, if they wanted to be authentic, it'd be in a gallon Ziploc bag, not just floating away in a paper bag. They don't do it. They pack them in groups of 12. They wouldn't be floating around freehand. See, it's not even authentic. Need to be in a Ziploc. Had to be greasy. If it was a paper bag like they were holding, then you should have been able to see through the thing. Like, come on.
Look, I'm from Texas, so I get to claim being Hispanic because everybody in Texas is Hispanic. We love tamales, bro, but that cover, that was definitely out of bounds. That wasn't the play at all.
But
these companies got to get it together.
Check this out real quick. Look.
Oh, you would Adam. Okay.
Yeah, they got he's kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah, I would say if he beat somebody ass, let me.
He came running up. I brought him his water. He came running up. He's like, all right, I'm 2-0 so far. I'm like, cool. And he's like, we're gonna get out of here early because let me just mop up these other two kids. We'll be done.
Look, pretty soon he gonna be the man of the house. It ain't feeling that, man. It ain't feeling that.
Start doing more shit around here.
Yo, hey man, you gonna have to look.
All right, fellas, you guys have a good show.
All right, bro.
Have bro.
Man, Rocksteady, what's up, man? What have you been up to? Did you go to Fan Expo?
No, that's about a 3.5 hour flight for me. Our expo's coming up in a couple weeks, so I'm holding out for that.
Yeah. So man, that's crazy because it take you the same amount of time that it take me from Texas to get to Toronto.
That's just
crazy.
it.
Yeah, that's definitely
I'm from
crazy.
Toronto originally, just outside Toronto. So it is home for me, but I went to the one in the spring. They had an expo there.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking on that slab wall behind you. I see you got a couple of Moon Girls up there. Definitely feeling that. But I also see you got a Scotty Young back there, which shows me you own what I'm on, and that Scotty Young is definitely one of those ones. How you feeling about this Aliens variant right here that's on the website at $25?
Yeah, I totally think a lot of Scotty Young is slept on, especially some of these exclusives and whatnot. And there's some really tough ones, like there's a Guardians of the Galaxy, I think it's number 7, 1 in 100. And there's a bunch of 1 in 50s, and there's a Bitter Root Scotty Young. And I think they're all just coming to light right now. And I don't think anybody should sleep on any Scotty Young right now.
Yeah.
It's a niche, he's definitely
right?
that he's got a style that I know that a lot of people have, been able to talk their wives and like, hey, honey, I want to decorate the kids' room in comic books, and they're all Scotty Young covers. And then she's, like the woman sees Scotty Young stuff, says, actually, that's not too bad. Okay, go for it. So I've seen some dudes get away with that, and it's definitely more of an all ages appropriate type of thing, except for Fairyland. That is not all ages appropriate.
And Shirtless Bear Fighter.
And Shirtless Bear Fighter, yeah, that one too. He's got a new book too that's also kind of like around that. Doesn't he have a new book with a dual title? Where I thought it was like that.
Well, I'm not sure, but I will say this.
Like Twig is out right now, and that's Scotty Young.
Yeah, and Twig, man, there was that one Momoko cover where it was like had like stuff growing out of him and like part of his eye was like open.
Yeah, that was pretty wicked.
Like,
One thing I did want to say is that I picked up a lot of Scotty Young at Fan Expo, and I'll show some off really quick. But I feel like Scotty Young, like people kind of typecasted him as a the guy that draws the baby, characters, which I don't look at them like baby characters. I look at more like Sunday comics. I mean the funnies that you will find in comics. I don't know about y'all, but the city I grew up in, like one of the cities I grew up in, the funnies would always be in the Sunday's paper. And I know on Sundays my grandmother would always say me the funnies and then the sports section, but I had to wait until she would always pull those out for me, but everything else, like she, you gotta wait till I read my paper. Then it just got to the point where she would pull those out for me so I could go ahead and read the sports section and read the funnies. And that's kind of what some of Scotty Young's covers take me back to, is the funnies, especially the ones where it has the word bubbles and it's explaining the whole scenario. But then he does what I call like the portrait style, like this, where he can do one character or he can do multiple characters, and he finds like a way to keep it fresh. Marvel has a thing where if something is working, they ride it until the wheels fall off. That's what all successful companies do. They find something and they ride it until the wheels come off. With Scotty Young, it's amazing to me. If you think about all the covers he probably does in a year, none of the two are really the same, And if you look how far back he's been doing Marvel variants, he's got a lot of gems in there. Let me do this. Let me show you.
Yeah, because one of my favorites from him is back here in 2011. It's Deadpool Corpse, or the Deadpool Core, that's what I call it.
Yeah, you can pull it up.
Variant number 12.
So this is one.
Yeah, there you
one
go.
that I picked up. Spidey number 1. This is Scotty Young variant right there.
Ultra, was that the one with the plungers?
Well, this is the one with the Sinister Six in the school bus. So
man, that Spidey book was also short printed.
So
Just a love book.
That one.
The Deadpool one that I was talking about was actually the one where he is holding 2 books and he's talking about how it's basically got a word bubble on it.
Yeah. This is a George Perez homage, and then obviously this is Infinity Gauntlet number 1. So the first McCain family in this one as well.
Come at me, bro.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I love that. I love that book. I haven't checked out the condition completely on that one, but I hope it's I might send that one out to get grading if it has a shot at a 9.8. I love this one too, the Ultimates. This is the team with Blue Marvel, Spectrum, America Chavez, et cetera, Black Panther. Got Galactus licking Earth like it's a lollipop.
Hell yeah.
I love this one as well. Like I said, bro, he just got so much range and creativity. Young Avengers number 1. I love this cover right here as well. Just not, like I said, not one that you see every day. Secret Wars number 1.
That's a good one.
Yes, I love this one right here, man. He did a really good
Especially
job on this.
If Doom really hits MCU hard, man, that's gonna be a fire cover right there.
Yeah, and they had the CGC label that matched this for a while, but they got rid of it. Yeah, I wish I would have sent some of these in before they got rid of that label, which I don't understand why they retire labels. I guess they think it'll put more emphasis on people buying those labels, but I don't necessarily agree with that. Spider-Woman 1, not nothing super crazy, but I was just trying to stack as many Scotty Youngs as I could. New Warriors number 1.
Have you seen the label from the Scotty Young website?
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah, I like that one.
Spider-Gwen number 1. Love that one. Like, just look at the range, even though it's all particularly the same style, but just look at the range like that he can deliver. And like I said, this is just a couple of books that I picked up at a con, right? Like, we're not even really digging deep into the Scotty Young catalog on this. This is just like but like a sampler, right? Like I'm pretty sure if we go to my comic shop and do an advanced search on Scotty Young, like
So let me offer these guys a little bit of a spec matrix off of my head here.
go for it.
Scotty Young has a lot of books where he does that, like the young kid style, right? Like the baby style, as they like to call it. He doesn't have very many books where he's done the other style, though, but they do exist. Like that Deadpool core number 12, the variant cover for Deadpool core 12 shows Deadpool just holding two books. And it's kind of like it's a homage to another book, and I can't remember the book it's a homage to right now. That one's like that. And then, of course, the Amazing Spider-Man 611 got a first print and a second print. The second print's got the word bubbles on it where Deadpool's talking. And then let me not talk out my ass, make sure I know what I'm talking about. Spider-Man 611.
How many covers total does he have now?
Oh, I don't know. Probably a
Bro,
lot.
I guarantee you it's out of this world. Like I wouldn't even want to. Like I guarantee you, Ultra will never do this spec matrix on Scotty Young. I'm almost positive.
If I did, I would have to admit like a lot of his work, just because he does. So let me just do what I would do normally on a search like this, where I would start my research. I'm going to use the search engine that I use for that, and just see. I got 760 hits for Scotty Young's name.
Ooh.
So that doesn't necessarily mean that he's got that many works, but that's how many hits that I'd have to go through and kind of sort through. The end of the Deadpool and Cable run,
Yes,
or Cable and Deadpool run, is where a couple of really good ones are. But yeah, that Spider-Man 611 is the one where he's got Spider-Man with Deadpool, and Deadpool's got Spider-Man and all like the Cable shoulder pads and all the other accessories and stuff like that. And then the second print on that one is actually really uncommon. So I know that the second print actually, that's one of those where the second print sells for more than the first print, and it's kind of like a warranted thing, because on the first print he just got it's a little Deadpool face word bubble with a smiley face. But on the second print, he actually says something. I forget what he says. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, this could be a deep rabbit hole.
Oh, it already is. It's huge. It's like Raza. Like Mel's always trying to get me to do a Raza spec matrix. I'm like, man, that dude's got so many credits.
I think the Raza will be way easier than the Scotty Young, in my opinion.
Might be, but yeah, I mean, so
bro, I never seen this Savage Dragon book cover before. Like I'm going through here, and you got to think, man, I collect Scotty Young, and I'm going through here because normally when I search on my comic shop, I never use gallery. I just started using gallery the other day. Just I was like realized like, man, I spend too much time clicking on books.
So that shirtless bear fighter there from 2017 is doing big things right now.
Yep.
Yeah. What a great cover too.
Yeah, bad. Like I said, man, like this is underappreciated, bro. Like, he did a Sex Criminals cover.
That one you can find in back bin still, because they all kind of blend in together.
So I think if you go back far enough, he gets away from this baby style stuff. You know what I mean? Like he starts really flexing his artistic muscle. Like there,
yeah,
May 2016.
Yeah.
So that's the one that's got a first print with him like that. Oh, that's actually Spider-Man Deadpool trade paperback.
Huh. Yeah, that's just the trade paper. But
that's the art to ASM 611. And they are looking.
He did SpongeBob.
That doesn't surprise me.
Or maybe not.
That could have just popped up in the search.
He might have something done on the interior,
on the inside. Yeah. Bro, I've never seen this before.
Great one.
Because that's a qualifier back then for that Darth Vader volume. Oh yeah,
yeah, and that's why I say it just gets deeper and deeper, because once you start thinking about the qualifier, it's 25 pages on my comic shop, bro. That's crazy. Even if you think about the books in here, that's his name probably just like some of these, he didn't actually do the covers on them right, but like the Strange Academy stuff, his name is popping up because he's the writer on it, right? But obviously, it's only a few covers that he did on this. But 25 pages, that's still crazy, bro. Just even if you condense this down, he probably still about 20 pages strong.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he also did that Deadpool run, the one before the Elsa Bloodstone story,
and the Rocket Raccoon one.
Yeah, the Groot series also.
Groot, yeah.
You got that 1 in 50 variant for that Groot that's black and white. But that was just the black and white version of the one that I think you were talking about for Guardians of the Galaxy #7, which is also the first full appearance of Angela. Like they brought her in and had that 1 in 100 variant for that one, I think, that had her replacing Star-Lord on it. I got a Star-Lord. I gotta start that collection pulling. What else you got here?
Let's see, man. Sorry, somebody was talking about coming on the show. I was responding to him really quick. Let's see. Get past this. That's all Strange Academy stuff.
Look at the world we live in. How many Strange Academy covers there are, and how short of a series it was.
Yeah, it's crazy. So why is his name popping up on the Street Fighter? Let me open this up in a new screen. I won't let me. All right, I'll just go in and I really don't want to click on this because I know it's probably just popping up because the name Scotty or Young. It's probably popping up because of Young. But oh no, featuring the artwork of Scotty Young.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Wow.
Man. So he probably got some artwork in here that's okay. Now I got to go and buy this book because I want to see what Scotty. Oh, hold on. Here go a cover by Scotty Young right here.
Yep, right there.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think that's one of his earliest works. And that's
05, bro. I mean, come on, man. You want to spend some money? Dig deep in that. Dig deep down in that Scotty Young rabbit hole, man.
Is there anything you see earlier?
All right, let's go back.
Oh, and my wife actually loves the Marvel Oz series that he did the covers for. She loved the covers by Scotty Young on that.
Yeah, though he has some good covers in that Oz series. Let me see if let me search.
Yeah, we saw somebody in the chat also talking about Middle West too.
Yeah, Middle West. I don't think it's gonna let me search by date. Let me go all up.
I was talking the other day, and there's not many artists who have their own section at comic shops, and Scotty Young has done that. Yeah. I've gone to a few where they have a whole section dedicated to him, like action figure variants. There's sometimes a section.
March 2003.
Like oh,
it's crazy.
It's that X-Men Unlimited right there.
And I think this is in stock.
And he did that. He was in that Iceman run too, right?
I think the Iceman was actually his first work. Yeah, somebody was talking about that before. I think it was McClay, actually. Yeah, I mean, that X-Men Unlimited right there is a sign. That's I can't tell if that's his cover or is it who's got the cover.
I'm about to check right now because it
looks kind of like Botchlo too.
Hold on, why is it not? Oh, there it goes. It opened up. Cover by Chris Baccello. But I guess Scotty Young has artwork on the inside. But I mean, that's still early, Scott. The book is still worth. If you're a Scotty Young fan, the book is still worth picking up because you have Scotty Young work on the inside, right? So, I feel like if you're a collector, you kind of want to go. When I collect somebody, I want to get anything that their artwork is featured inside because anything published to me is almost worth having, right? So that,
and it's something fun to hunt for, right?
Like John DeBerry saying he did over 830 Marvel cuts. Good Lord, bro. That man is a machine. Y'all welcome my brother Mello to the building.
It's Monday.
He got the But I can't say what I want to say about that beard.
Hmm.
But
Now lip
my boy
broom,
got a new beard.
The corn stash.
dude. I've heard Tom Selleck, Freddie Mercury. I'll take them all, man. I'm working here. We're working on an art piece here.
Right on.
What you working on?
I keep cutting that one off so this can grow.
Dude, I wish I could get to that. That's patience.
No, this is an aggravated wife who does not like it very much, and it's been trimmed, so it sucks. I had it a little bit longer. It was like down the middle of my chest.
Let's do something right quick, y'all. Let's hold on.
Yo, drunken
wanna
chat
check
in
one
the
thing.
chat. Yo, I love the
Hold on,
Scotty
let's-
talk right now. And I love how Ultra was pointing out, or I didn't know if it was Rocksteady because we were big screen, but pointing out that Scotty jumped into that baby era. That cover you pointed out right away, that Deadpool, I love that, man. That transition was huge.
Right? Like some people saw it, some other people didn't, but
Mm-hmm.
he's got like a very big versatile style. Like before doing baby covers, he could go back to doing the other style and people would still like it. Like it's still decent artwork. Like he could still sell books.
Scotty Young was kind of like Funko Pops for me for a while, where I'm like, it's not going to catch on.
I've come
And then
across
all
a
of
few
sudden it's
Funko
caught on,
variants.
and it's too late.
I've come across a few Funko variants. I'm like, is this a Scotty? No.
Funko variants are a whole different thing because there's a couple of those Funko variants out there that you would have to order like a case, like 6 of them, in order to get one of those Funko variants, right? But you would have to pre-order the Funko figures way far in advance, and then you get the comic before you get the Funkos in some cases. And I'm like, my LCSs sometimes would want $30-$40 for some of those, and that right there actually should be a spec matrix because I think
Sounds like some money.
I think there's been enough of them that we can probably do like a good 20 slides on those things. But I know I personally have a bunch of those, including infamous Iron Man Dr. Doom Funko cover from Avengers.
Yeah, some of those Funkos, man, is tricky to say the least. This was the first Aliens cover that Scotty Young did last year, and this was one like that. I instantly I was on this one. Day one, I bought I FOC'd a bunch of these right here. And this to me, this was the best cover from this run to Aliens, the first issue. This was the best cover to me. Like he killed it per usual. His Predator cover he did for the Predator that dropped a few weeks ago, that one was really good too. So like I said, man, it really don't matter, man. Scotty Young is always he's gonna find a way. Like it don't matter. It's just
Didn't he just dropped a new variant on his Stupid Fresh Mess website. Did you guys check that out?
That's why. Yeah, that's what started the
Dude,
that's what started the conversation. Yeah.
That one's clean. That's gonna be an instant poll.
I love this one right here. I love this cover right here with Stan Lee and all the kids.
Hard to find on that.
Dope cover right there, man. What's that kind? Yeah, it
That's
was a
a
kind
C2E2?
exclusive. C2E2 exclusive, yeah. And they had a black and white of it.
Oh,
This the cover Ultra was talking about.
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, there are a few PX exclusives that are black and white, I think, for Scotty. Like the Lando one.
And this is what's beautiful about that 611 is that because it does have that second print, and the only variation really is the word bubble and actually saying second print variant right there on the side. A lot of times it gets missed when it gets put in the boxes. You can probably pick them up for a good price, but look at what they sell for versus the first print. It's nuts.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell y'all this. Some of these Scotty Young slabs, in my opinion, is underpriced. Because I think there's gonna be a correction in the market. One thing I do want people to keep in mind is that they are, paying people student loans back. Some people actually pay on their student loans, and that's going to, relieve some additional income for them. Even if you wasn't paying on your student loans, getting $20,000 in debt, knocked off of your your credit, your debt to credit ratio, that can be a huge help for some people in increasing lines of credits and things like that, improving credit scores. So, there might be some money bouncing back into this economy, and we could see that trickle down to comic books and some of these prices, spike back up. So I would, honestly, I think I know when we went to C2E2, Scotty Young had a long line every time I passed by his table. That's the only reason I didn't get any books signed by him. But I was gonna buy his shirtless bear fighter exclusive and get that signed. But I'm like, I don't want to stand in the I don't want to stand in the line. I do it tomorrow. I do it tomorrow. And eventually I got to Sunday and I was like, damn it, I don't got enough time to go wait in line for Scotty because I had to get to the airport. But you know, here goes one of his covers. It's not a baby cover, and that's still a pretty tough cover, right? Like, it don't matter, man. Like the baby cover, non-baby covers, he can do it all. Like
His curse words covers, actually. The curse words cover, I like that one a lot too. That was hard to find for me.
yeah, man, he got some. He
Hey,
definitely
that
got
America
some.
we just went past though. I saw one on eBay for like $100 raw. I wonder what that's looking like right now.
Might be. I can go and check in a second. Look at that one. I've
There you
always liked this cover.
He's always done really well with Rocket and Groot.
Yep, his Rocket and Groot. Like when he did that series for Rocket and Groot, all of those covers are fire. Like books like this, I know this stuff got to be a pain in the ass. Like
Yeah, I
there's
don't
no way
support
you just gonna
Dreamwave,
walk
bro.
into. Yeah, there's no way you just gonna walk into any comic shop and find this, bro. Like,
So one of the hardest ones to find during the Secret Wars run was Little A versus X. You know about those?
nuh-uh. Look at this.
So
2002 Scotty Young cover.
that I believe is actually his first right there. I think I've seen that one before. I think McClay was really up on these and had done that. So, shit, I forgot where I was going. Must not have been important.
Little A versus X-Men or a Secret Wars.
Oh yeah, the Little A versus X. Those Scotty Young. That's actually like a Scotty Young universe. Like that's why like a lot of Scotty Young fans chase that. So imagine a full book of Scotty Young covers, but it's all Avengers versus X-Men, but the little versions of themselves.
It's a shirtless bear fighter number 2, 1 in 10 at 125 with nine bids and 3 days left on it right now.
Yep. One of those.
Oh man, Scotty Young. I'm telling y'all, like it's definitely a lot of I feel it's a lot of meat left on the bones for Scotty Young. Like it wouldn't be a bad idea to start you a little Scotty Young collection. Like straight up. Just buying, I would just go back older stuff, and just stack it up. Cheap older stuff, like obscure stuff, and just stack it up. Is this this not the Little A versus X, is it? No, that's a trade paperback or something. I think I know I just saw that cover, but I didn't realize he had did a variant for this Judgment Day book.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And like, but look, I'm not gonna beat a dead.
I got a couple of good Scotties. I got that Rumble. I found this one in Dallas, actually. Found that one in Dallas when we were at Fan Expo. Got another Clyde. Dude, this one shot up out of nowhere. This Iceman. Big on that one. And then gotta have the She-Hulk cover.
Yeah.
Let's go peep in on the girls from Near and
I don't know
Nirvana
why I
right
put
quick.
that one. I have a 1 in 100 Scotty Young signed. I got signed at C2E2 also. That Twig 1 in 100, and then I'm a bit of a Scotty fan, I guess you could say.
Oh, nice. That's the preview? Yeah.
Yeah, I got the preview Ashcan. Those were dinged up hard too.
Oh, is that a 9.8?
Yes, sir. I was
That's
glad
a
to
big
get it.
book right now.
CBCS. I see you got all the CGC behind you. I'm a little upset I didn't CGC it, but
Mine's at CGC right now.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they going over Game of Thrones tonight. House of Dragon. I don't know if y'all watch. I don't know if y'all watch Game of Thrones or House of Dragons, but House of the Dragon has been pretty good so far, man. Like, whenever you do like a prequel or a sequel or anything like that, like I'm always worried about it getting redundant, right? Like you beating a dead horse. But honestly, I think them doing a prequel of this show is better than it got the potential to be better than the original Game of Thrones series itself. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know what all of the pitfalls was from your original time, the original time that they did Game of Thrones. Like you can correct on all of those errors that you made, and I think they realized that because they got right into the meat and bones of this. Like it feels like this show is gonna move at a way faster pace than the original Game of Thrones did. So I think it's gonna be great. And we need, like, right now, I feel like as far as TV shows go, man, everybody been kind of split on what, you know what I'm saying? Like She-Hulk. Some people hate it, some people love it. All of the Marvel shows have been like that. Some people hate it, some people love it. So far on this show, all the reviews I've seen have been really good, and I think we need that, like, positive interactions about these shows, man.
All right, I found a ghost. Well, I didn't find a ghost. I found which one is the ghost.
For Scotty.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, actually, never mind. I found it.
Oh, you found it. Like, oh, I'm going to buy it.
yeah. Like I've been looking for it up and down, trying to find this thing and seeing where it is.
What is it, like Iceman series that he wrote or something like that?
No, it's a 1 in 20.
Oh, okay.
And
the House of Dragon, though, I'm gonna check that out. I've seen a lot of people talking about that. I know my wife might be interested.
And the dope thing about it is you don't necessarily have to have watched Game of Thrones in order to go back and in order to watch House of Dragons. Like, I think it would be beneficial, but I feel like you can watch it, without. Like, you might not get the whole gravity of everything that's going on, and especially as they advance throughout the story, but you can jump in and watch it and kind of go with it, and then maybe go back later and watch Game of Thrones if you want to. But this is that shirtless bear fight I was telling y'all about. That's on eBay right now. 125 already, man. I don't know if it's because he naked on the cover or what it is, but I don't know why this book just took off all of a sudden. I know it's a 1 in 10. It's a 1 in 10. So I don't know. Is it just that hard to find?
It's got to be a rarity thing.
It just wasn't ordered. Shirtless Bear Fighter. I don't think I remember being in the store working when this came out, and because it came out at 15, right?
This is number 2 also. This isn't like it's number 1. This is also a number 2, 1 in 10.
I can't remember if I was still working in the store when this came around. Still like working. I after I left, got my real estate license, started doing real estate full time. I was still working in the store 1 day a week. So I can't remember if I was still there when that came out. But this is just a book that, again, nobody was ordering Shirtless Bear Fighter. It wasn't a big popular title. It wasn't like, oh my God, burning up the charts on Diamond. Let me make sure we get our reorders in. So, but it's still a 10 copy incentive. And you got to think there's a lot of stores who were at the time only ordering what their subscribers were ordering, and then maybe a couple for the shelf. So if you didn't have a 10 people wanting this, the 10 copy incentive is non-existent.
Yeah, this wasn't 2021 where all shops were ordering indie books en masse.
Yeah.
This was a different time.
Some smart shops were still coming off of the indie image, kind of like everything image #1 was super duper hot. Manifest Destiny and all that other kind of stuff. So I don't know. There might have been sporadic shops with these on hand, but yeah, you just don't see it. And Scotty Young chasers again. They go looking for his work. And like on release day, I would have some people, can I have all the Scotty Young covers that came out today? Yes, you can. Here you go. Take them all, please. And they would buy them all and gone. And then, of course, with the Marvel having them as qualifier variants, sometimes we wouldn't get them. They'd be like, what do you mean you didn't order it? Well, we didn't qualify for it. What do you mean you didn't qualify for it? Well, they wanted us to order like 200% of a stupid book that we didn't order any of.
Yeah. It's like a cover D. So.
I don't miss those days.
Yep. I say Marvel should bring qualifiers back, especially for store variants. Store variants should, like, if the way that store variants are being ordered right now, they should do like qualifiers for store variants. Like, oh, if you did, like, if this is your third store variant with us this year, and you qualify to order X amount of this, of this cover, instead of giving them the ratio variants, right? Because the store variants are running the ratios into the ground to where they just being overprinted, right? Because you getting a store exclusive, and you getting the one, you're getting the 1 in 25, the 1 in 50, based on books that you ordering, for your store anyway. So, like, if you just had to order the cover A or the cover B to get to that 25 books, maybe you wouldn't order that, right? But if you was gonna do a store variant anyways, like, clearly the ratios are just like a secondary factor into that, right? So I feel like they need to come up with a qualifier system for store variants exclusively. You feel what I'm saying? Like, hey, this will be a variant that you can get for ordering this many, store variants, and get them something else, and get them something else to chase, instead of giving them the qualifiers. Like, get them their own, like, hey, this is for store variants. If you order 500, every 500 you order, you get this book. Do something like that instead of giving them ratios, and let them try to make their money back on that.
Yeah, some of those ratios just got massacred in the market. Like, look at Twig, right? They had a bunch of covers for #1, and the ratios aren't even going for ratio. That's a shame.
Yeah, see, one of these companies need to hire me, man. I teach them how to make money, because what I would do is, like, every quarter I would have like a qualifier for store, for store variants, and the more you order, the more you get of that variant. But it would just, instead of you doing a variant that's attached to the individual book, like, it would be a variant that would, every quarter it would change. It would save a lot of money. It would keep people honest on their ordering. It won't mess up your LCSs that don't do store variants, and the ratio immediately having no value once the day it releases. Like, I don't know. It's just, like I say, it's always a better way to do these things. But I do worry about ratios being devalued just due to the over ordering the store variants and stuff like that. Like, some of these, I feel like it's people are missing an opportunity to kind of invest in these books that came out when qualifiers and when store variants weren't ordered as heavily, and some of these variants are like truly hard to find. No, Mac, that's what I'm saying. It won't pump up print runs more. Right now, stores can order, if they do a 3,000 print run, if they do a store exclusive, it's a minimum 3,000 print run, plus most stores do 1,000 version. So that's 4,000 books. If it's a 1 in 25 attached to that book, not only do they get the 4,000 books, but they get the 1 in 25s, which 4,000 books divided by 25, that's 161 in 25 variants off of one store's exclusives. What I'm saying is, if you make, like, you just have, like, every quarter you have like a qualifier variant. Like, if you order a store variant for 3 straight months, the amount of those qualifier variants that you can get increases, with each order. Like, the higher you can get, and that way you're not affecting the print run of all these other, ratio variants. That's what I'm saying. So actually, it would make things better for stores and for collectors who really don't care about store exclusives. It's not messing up the value of the 1 in 25s and and things of that nature. So
It
just
sucks
like,
for the small shop that only ordered 50, right?
yeah, because you order 50 and it's like the cover A or the cover B, and then somebody did a store variant and they got 160, 160 of that 1 in 25 variant, and they can go and blow them all out on eBay at $15 a pop. And what is then now the store got to price their stuff down to 15 instead of just keeping it at ratio at 25, because these stores that order heavy like that, they're not going to hold the line of integrity and say, hey, I know I got 160 of these, but I'm gonna keep my price at 25 because I don't want to dilute the market with it. They just gonna blow it out. Or I like the way Ant from Bird City does it. He just makes packages that has the 1 in 25 and his store exclusive, or if it's like a 1 in 50, it's a bundle with everything bundled together. So it's not going in and tanking the market on a book.
Just look at the difference between Mandalorian 1 and Mandalorian 2. Like number 2, the 1 in 25, or is it the 1 in 50? That's absolutely
1 in 50
blowing
is
up.
like $90 right now.
Yeah,
and
number
you
one.
know why that is?
I know it's first Grogu.
It's not. That's the
Okay.
problem.
Teach us.
It's the hype. It's the hype behind it, because people regurgitate things without opening up a book and taking a look on the inside. Grogu clearly is in issue number 1.
He's on a couple variant covers too.
He's also first appearing with Mando on that Sprouse variant that appeared months before that, making Mando number 1 his first full appearance. If we're going to go by that crazy standard, there is nothing of value in issue 2. That's his third appearance, if you're going to count it that way. So the people who are right now trying to get the money for issue number 2, I even told Mel when he even made a post about it on G. I'm like, Mel, that's not the right book, man. It's like that's the third appearance.
Yeah.
So there's an unfortunateness to this money memory thing, and people forget that they overpaid for a book eventually when the book either takes off or enough people overpay for the book that it becomes the book's price.
Yeah, it's selling. Yeah, I see it on Key Collector right now. First full appearance, and then number 1 is first cameo appearance in story. So
which is bullshit, because he's on multiple panels. And also, we just like, and this is the thing about Star Wars comics. Boba Fett first appeared in Empire Strikes Back before he appeared in the comic. So is his comic actually his first appearance?
What's even crazier about that one is that pocket book with Yoda inside where he's different. So maybe that's the first one, right?
There's all these different caveats that people can try to play as far as trying to make their book that they have for sale shine better, but some people know better. And I honestly, I bought the Mando action figure variant. That's all I cared about. All the rest of them, he first appeared on the Disney Plus show. He didn't first appear in the comic, but his first appearance in comics was on the cover of a Sprouse variant that went 2 printings because of his appearance on that cover. So what are we going to do about that book now? People just going to forget that book exists?
Yeah. And
you're talking about the one with the gold frame around it, and they did this reprint, second print of the silver frame. Yeah.
Correct.
You
Predated
are right.
Mando number 1 by 3 months, I believe.
Yep. You are right.
And what was that other book where they're in the crowd, where Grogu's in the crowd? I know that doesn't count.
Oh, yeah. I remember that book. Yeah, I remember that was making rounds for a little bit. Mac, the reason I'm saying you got to, if you're going to take the ratios away from store exclusives, I feel like you got to give them something back, because store exclusives are, a pretty expensive project, to roll out. But at the same time, I feel like the overall sentiment is like, let's keep the ratio qualifiers within the small comic shops that don't do store exclusives, and you don't want to cut off your nose to spite your face, right? You don't want to say, oh, we're gonna take away ratios from y'all, but still expect you to pay the same amount of money to do, a Marvel exclusive. So I feel like giving them a book that's gonna be, you know, giving them something extra. Like I said, I would do a variant every quarter, and this will be like your bonus for ordering, hitting certain benchmarks as far as your store exclusives go.
You could do 1 in 10,000s.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, you could do like 1 in 500s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that it will be that same book for like 3 months at a time. But even if you don't want to do it that way, if you want to do one, if say, hey, we're gonna do a 1 in 500 for store exclusives on this Spider-Man #1, it don't take nothing. It take Marvel literally a second to make a 1 in 500 a 1 in 500 variant. Just throw an artwork, some trade dress on it. Boom, you got a 1 in 500. Or hell, just all them virgins that they do 1 in 500s on, just make them qualifiers for store exclusives, and then make a legit top chase variant for people that's just ordering the regular books through FOC. Like, it's so many different ways that you can do it. But you definitely, for Marvel, they got to try to play to both sides of the fence. They got to play to the small shops, and you have to play to the online retailers that are doing a lot of these exclusives. That's just my view on it. Like I said, I'm tired of seeing ratio variants being ran into the ground. But it's like I said, it's a lot that they can do. It's a lot that they can do to make things a little bit better. Dang, man, I had something else that I wanted to bring up. Now it's kind of slipping my mind. Hold on 1 second. Let me check right quick.
Grogu's face on this Mando cover bothers me a little bit too. I don't even think it's the best cover in my opinion.
I don't think it's all that either, but
I like it.
I mean, it's not a bad cover, but I think it could be better.
Definitely not 1 in 50 worthy. Probably like 1 in 5. Give it like.
It's always interesting to me what they choose as the premium cover. They don't want the best cover. They want the best cover to be the A cover, so it sells the most. But then it's a tough balance for the ratios for sure.
So Max saying that the system isn't broken, they don't need to fix it. And my opinion, I disagree with that. I mean, I know a lot of people disagree with that and don't like that, store exclusives get the ratios at the clip that they do, especially since they charging, $15 to $20 for a trade, $40 for a virgin, $60 for a set. Like, I don't think they should get the ratio variance with that. I just and then also the thing I'm thinking about too is I think that will push back on the amount of store exclusives that get released, right? Because if you don't have that crutch, like, oh well, even if the cover ain't that great, we can still sell the ratios and make most of our money back. If you don't have that crutch to lean on, then you will see some of that oversaturation being pushed back on. That, you see what I'm saying? Like that definitely, if for nothing else, it would be worth it right there alone. We would stop getting so many store exclusives on top of the 10 variants that Marvel is going to do on a big release book as well. So I'm not saying that the system is broken, but I'm saying it could definitely be better. That's just my take on it. That's just my take on it. Man, I had something that I saw today that was really interesting that I wanted to show to everybody, but now I can't find it. So let me switch to this instead. I want to show off. I got to give a big shout out to my brother Toom because he in the chat right now. But I guess he did this for Brian McClay, and
so good.
That's fire to me.
Tombsday.
That's fire. Tombsday.
I like that.
Tombsday. It's Tombsday. Man. So I met Toom at Fan Expo Canada. I've always been a big supporter of all of my, my podcasts that I work on. Also a big supporter of Drunken Chat and Mighty Mel V. Shout out to Mel. Mel made like the perfect. Mel made like the perfect. Here come Dennis, man. Mel made like the perfect comparison to Toom's work, and he compared him to Fred Hambrick, which I'm about to pull up some of Fred Hambrick's work really quick.
I think you mean Fred Hembeck.
Hambeck, yeah, man.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't
I fuck up,
drag me
bro.
up.
I do a show every weekend, FOC and Books, where I butcher artist names, so don't feel bad.
Don't drag me over the coals, y'all.
I love Toom's art. He's made a new logo for me that we're going to be debuting on Newbie's show coming up. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Tight.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all can see the similarities. Yeah,
And it's like that mix of cartoon and comic book.
exactly. Like, and it just look different, right? It don't look like every book that you see releasing on a weekly basis. Like it just
It's not
looks
trying to be something else.
exactly like there's no.
We trying to get you a store exclusive deal, Toom.
That I mean, I'm literally pushing for that behind the scenes right now. And if they decide, if the person I'm talking to decide that they don't want to do it, I'm gonna just do it myself. Because the one thing that I'm looking at, all of his work, which actually let me grab a couple of pieces that he gave to me at in Canada. All of his work, this is hand drawn, right? I think if he does it digital, it's gonna look a lot more crisp. And then the colors, I think the colors will be a little bit more vibrant. Because look how good this looks with the with the trade dress on it, right? Because that trade dress was done digitally. Look how much better that looks. So just imagine like the whole cover, right? And just like you'll get a little bit more crispness. But for me, something I always look at an artist is like the small details that they put into artwork. So like he did his signature on this, like the McFarlane signature. Like that's the small stuff to me that makes a difference in a cover being all right and having that little extra thing that takes it, over the top. I don't know, man. Like crazy. Oh, Rocksteady got some tune.
Look
All right,
at
let me throw
that.
you on the big screen, and let me remove this so people can see it. Hold on. I threw it the wrong. There you go. All right, now people can see. And I'll go
Blood
grab mine
Eater
while you're showing that.
AD, number 7, and number 8. I'm trying to do the run, but I keep entering his contests and no success. Yeah, he's an amazing graphic artist on the computer too. He is a very talented human being with a beautiful creative mind. And there's that Scotty.
And outside of that, man, he's a good dude, man.
I was looking at that Kanto over there. That's a pretty little gem.
Well, you want a
Alright,
book
so-
that's way down and good to buy right now. Kanto's up there.
So
Look at
this
that.
is one of the pieces.
That's
I was
crisp.
referencing.
Hey, that, like you're saying, that's crisp, man. I like that.
Yeah, and this, like I said, this the small details for me. And then this one, you're gonna get a kick out of this one, Mello. Mighty Mel V as the Wizard Hunter.
I thought did I not see this on Instagram? Maybe.
No, maybe I posted this on. Maybe I showed this off on stream on.
Yeah.
So
That's
this
awesome.
one
Man.
is,
Great
and this
work,
is the
man.
fifth. This is the 5th print of this. So he's done 5 printings of this so far, and I think it's maybe like I think he said it was like a 6th or 7th coming. So,
And they're all hand drawn.
yeah, all hand drawn.
That's
man,
awesome, man.
Just
Got
crazy,
the co
man.
on there and everything, man.
Yeah. This, and then he got me some sticker packs back here.
Yeah.
His girlfriend is a singer, Red Rosamond. And then that's her sticker, and then that's Tomb's logo back there. If I can,
Killing it,
I
Tomb,
think you can
man. I
see
love
Tomb
that.
his logo on there better.
These are going to be worth a fortune one day when he's famous.
I think so. That's why I'm trying to get them on store exclusives right now before somebody else realizes, man, this dude got the juice.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm trying to get them now. That's why I say if it don't happen with the person I want to happen with, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it myself because
Oh yeah.
I know I feel like I got the eye. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show off, and we got somebody waiting backstage. I picked this up while I was in Canada. The Art Adams Convention Special 2018.
Love
Last
that.
two of these sold for like 85 on eBay. But bro, it's some crazy like Art got some. Art is definitely one of them ones, man. He got some shit in his damn sketchbook. He got some stuff up in here, man. Like crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
And then I also got
stuff.
History.
I also got the 2022 sketchbook, which I think he dropped this one at SDCC, and it got some stuff in there too, man. So I was very, very happy to pick these up, trying to get my my sketchbook collection up. I don't want to show too much of that because we're gonna do a original art show on Spec Club next week. So I don't want to, show too much off. All right, y'all, welcome to the stream, Dennis Barger.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on?
What's up, man?
Talking about Art Adams. Okay, so yesterday, shout out to Jessup, Half Price Crook. His wife's birthday was yesterday. I went down and partied with them last night. And he's like, yo, you got to check this out. And we go down to the basement, and he busts out this big hardcover Godzilla book. But it wasn't just a Godzilla book. It was the Godzilla Criterion Edition. It had 8 Godzilla DVDs, but the book was all kinds of sick artists that we all know, and some we don't know, doing like these badass pop art Godzilla paintings. And one of them was Art Adams. I literally just yesterday.
That's awesome. I would love to see that.
Yeah, Becky Cloonan did a piece in there. There's like a whole bunch of names you would recognize.
I love media crossover stuff like that.
The Art Adams book for me.
And it's also it's a long shot for that spec to pay off too.
It's not about the spec though.
I know.
And then while I was digging through that box, I was able to locate
Second.
There
second
it
print.
is.
Second print. Nice.
And probably one of the better spec plays of my CBSI G Plus days. Cable and Deadpool 50 is the first time the Venom symbiote and Deadpool combined. Predates the What If series and the reprint of What If Deadpool by Scotty Young.
You did that spec play like 6 years ago, didn't you?
Long time ago. And,
you know what?
It ruffled a lot of feathers.
Your ass cost me a bunch of money because that was back before I was putting one at a time into Amazon inventory. And we got cleaned out overnight. And I remember looking it up, and it was one of you fucking internet people that blasted that one, and I got cleaned out overnight for like 10 copies of that book. Bastard.
Yeah, people have a love-hate relationship with me.
Hey Dennis, did you crack open those Marvel metal cards yet?
No, actually, here's what I'm going to do. So I talked on Saturday Night Show about Marvel non-sport cards, and I had a huge dealer come down and make me a high 4-figure offer. And it got me to thinking. So then I was watching Neo's sports cards this morning, and he's talking about that new Spider-Man metal and how they're hitting Target. And I had a dentist appointment this morning. So as I was rolling out of the dentist office, I swung by Target, and they had 3 boxes of those sitting on the shelf at $30 a piece. And Neo was saying they're going for about $60 a piece. So it got me to thinking, I got to start selling Marvel cards on Whatnot. And there's like a million shows, and they're all doing the new stuff. And I've got like every banger Marvel card that's ever been made sitting in boxes doing nothing right now.
It's a big market. It's changed a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, I've got a 4-row monster box full of just nothing but Marvel metal that I've never sorted. And I've got I got 4 rows of a 5-row box of nothing but 94 Flair. And then like another 3 rows of a 4-row block of nothing but 94 Flair Annual. So I'm like, oh, well, everybody's bitching about the comic market burning. I'll just switch over to the one where everybody's throwing the money at right now.
What that Marvel Metal? When did that come out?
The original Marvel Metal, I think, was 90.
No, the one that you just got.
It's Spider-Man. It's Fleer Spider-Man Metal 2022, but it's actually 2021 because they didn't release it last year. Yeah, it's the 2021.
This came out in Target. Where did this come out at?
It just came out in Hobby, and it's already sold out in Hobby. Pre-orders were $190 a box. That's the box right there. 2122 is what they're calling it, but it actually says 21. And they were $190, but right now the average price is something to the neighborhood of like $500 to $600.
Yeah, they sell them for
And
$645.
Dave and Adams is selling them at $700 a box. Yeah, there you go.
And for a box of cards these days, $190 is very reasonable.
Yeah, but I mean, they're already triple that in secondary. So I figured these blasters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Marvel card show on Whatnot, probably like maybe Saturday. I don't know yet. And then I'm going to open one of those boxes live on there, and then just hit I want to crack it, but then I'm probably going to auction off the box, or I'll auction off the box and then crack it for them.
You could do a hit draft or something like that too.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know any of that shit, but I just, I love the cards, dude. And this dealer came in there, and he's like, okay, I'll give you this. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. I've been curating these 20 boxes of Marvel cards for literally 15 to 20 years. I mean, I just bought every collection that ever came through my hands and just put it in a box. And then I'd break them out, and I'd sort them, and I'd sub-sort them, and put together some sets and sell some sets. But I probably have maybe the biggest inventory of that out of any dealer anybody knows.
That'd be fun.
So why not play with it and have fun on Whatnot with it?
Oh, yeah.
For sure. The market's there.
Yeah, it's a guy. Man, let me pull up his IG right quick. I think it's Spidey Hits.
And Marvel cards were dead for so long.
They were.
I've always loved them.
If you can go to my Ninth, if you can go to my YouTube page after you do what you're doing, I want to show you guys. Spidey Hits, is that okay? Let me see that.
So I was going through his stuff the other day, and he has some pretty nice cards in there. That's some of the 2022 metal. 92 Masterpiece.
That's great.
Well, and like I said on Brian's show, dude, get the fuck out of here. Is that a regular card in this set?
I don't know. Let me see. Hit of the day. I was hand drawn #1 by Fine Art Ash. Spider-Man Mickey Mouse Ricky Homage sketch card on 2020 Marvel Masterpieces. So that's a sketch card. Bro.
That's hot. That is the hottest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's hot.
That is great. Yeah.
So I guess I can talk about this now since it ain't gonna fucking happen. Dennis has already heard this story. I'm about to get y'all in.
Oh no!
Because it's no way that this is gonna happen. So I don't give a fuck if people know about my idea or whatnot. So the issue of Miles Morales that comes out at the beginning of October is issue 42. So I had an idea to do a Jackie Robinson homage cover for that book because Jackie Robinson wore number 42. Number 42 is synonymous with Miles Morales because the spider that bit him was number 42. When he wanted to get into the Brooklyn Visions Academy, his number in the lottery was number 42.
And DC has him eating 42 tacos on their new Hispanic heritage covers too.
Chill out, Dennis, man. But
hey, you said I could get crazy tonight.
Yes, you can get crazy. Yes, go. Yes. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be a genius idea. So I partnered with somebody to do it, and first Marvel say, oh yeah, that's cool. And then when we started trying to procure artists for the project, they started kind of jerking us around, and they really weren't giving us an artist that we wanted to work with, because I felt like the concept was very easy to knock down. Like, and something like this would have been like the perfect cover. Miles in his spider uniform with a baseball uniform over, make it look like a trading
I would have
card.
loved to see that.
Get somebody like Tony Fleeks or somebody like that to do it. Like, real simple thing. It would have released for New York Comic-Con. Like, it would have been a home run. And it's not gonna happen.
So it's not happening. Damn it!
Yeah, it's not happening, man.
Heads gonna roll for that one.
Here's the thing. I think they don't want to touch anything with the Jackie Robinson estate because they got to pay through the nose on that one.
Mm-hmm. And then that too is like, even if you didn't, I feel like even if you didn't mention Jackie Robinson or directly or anything, even if it's just
remember,
like
I had
Miles,
the idea of Miles playing stickball on 42nd Street.
Yeah, and they said no to that too. They was like, well, can we put him like playing, like, can we have him walking past 42nd Street? No. Can we put like a street sign that says 42nd Street? Like, there's no way that the Jackie Robinson estate would know about that or come after that. But the way that, only thing I could say is in the way that we would advertise the book and saying, oh, it's an homage to Jackie Robinson, it could be some legal ramifications.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Ninth. Do you see that little thing right there? That's called Marvel's logo. That's called a Marvel comic set.
True.
That's called Fleer, which is technically owned by Topps, so that's a Topps homage card. But that's Mickey Mantle's estate, and Mickey Mantle's estate is 10 times more bloodthirsty than Jackie's estate. So how do they get away with that?
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how these things are.
I don't either. But, my thought was, the first thing, tell them what I said to you. I said one of two things. I said the first thing is you might have dummied up the mark, and they were like, oh, Jackie Robinson homage for New York Comic-Con? That'd be really good at the Marvel booth. Damn. So we'll see if it comes out.
So, guys, I thought Toom did this for Brian McClay, but it's actually a giveaway. So if y'all go to his page, Swords and Snakes, and comment, you will get entered into the giveaway for this Spawn book. So
and hey, I got a hot take for everybody. I am now on double secret probation on Whatnot.
What you mean? What did you do?
Well, first of all, the first initial letter said for running mystery boxes without having a high and a low. But what happens is Bob, when he sets up the new sales, just uses a copy and paste of the mystery box listing and then adds to it. And so he apparently left the mystery box listings, but we never ran any of them. But they were still in the queue to run them if we wanted to run them, which we didn't have any plan to. And then I emailed them back and said, hey, we didn't run any mystery boxes. That was the night I did Spawn 100 through 195. We didn't run no mystery boxes. Oh, well, you're doing giveaways like raffles for the winners. You're supposed to give giveaways to everybody. I'm like, well, I do give giveaways for everybody, but I also give a giveaway to all the people who won an item. I give an extra slab out at the end of the show. And apparently that put us on 1 week probation.
So what does the probation consist of?
So you can't sell for 1 week?
No, but I can still sell. If I screw up again, I'm off Whatnot. for two things that I absolutely didn't like. We did not do a raffle on that Spawn sale, and we did
Somebody
not.
must have reported you.
Somebody reported me, and I'll tell you this. This was all Ben C. who contacted me and said, "Hey, will you do the Indie Comics Spotlight?" I said, "Well, I have a Spawn 100 through 195, and I've been a little critical of certain people lately on certain shows, and I'm just wondering, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just wondering, is this a retaliation strike?"
I don't think it's a retaliation strike. I think
I
it's
don't
probably
think so either, but
I think
you never
somebody
know.
in that was watching the show probably tried to stooge you out, because the same thing happened to to a guy I know named Kickstradamus. He does like
The
mystery
sneakers.
Funko packs or something like. Yeah, he does sneakers, but on whatnot he does like Funko Pops. He does paintings. He does commissions for sketch covers, all types of stuff. And somebody was like, "Oh, on your mystery boxes, you don't have a high and a low, and et cetera, et cetera." But the thing about whatnot is like you have like your core base of people that attend your sales, and they already have like a good idea of how you operate your show.
Yeah.
And like Kicks, he gives away a bunch of stuff like extra to his people, so they pretty much fine paying whatever, because they know they're gonna get like a custom print, that's gonna be autographed by him, or he's gonna throw this
Hey,
in
man,
and throw that in. So they like, do you know that the people that actually spend money is not tripping off of it? It's gonna be that one troll that comes across your show, and for whatever reason they decide that they don't like you, and then they want to try to find a reason to
all I know
report you
is
or whatnot.
I gave away Punisher 2 Opena for a $335 mystery box, 9.8 graded. So whoever reported me could kiss my ass, because I lost money on that one.
Yeah.
You know,
Sad. Yeah, it's sad, but I do think that whatnot, they gotta find a way to see, to kind of filter through, legitimate gripes and illegitimate gripes,
Right.
because that can become very problematic if somebody goes on week probation for literally doing, nothing wrong, and that's not the type of publicity that you want out there for your company. That, hey, he had actions taken against him. Because what if you make like one more mistake while you're on probation and they kick you off of the platform? Like, I
Well, I
wouldn't
mean,
want to deal with
a year ago, everybody was giving away a free book to their winners.
Yeah. I wouldn't want you to go on a million podcasts screaming at the top of your lungs saying, "Oh, I got kicked off or whatnot for giving away free stuff." That's gonna look real crazy.
Yeah.
That's gonna look real crazy, It's just, it's just one of those things, man. It's just one of those things where
it's also a platform that's just evolving so fast that it's hard to keep up with and keep straight. Like, they're navigating a lot of this for the first time, right?
Yeah, that too. It's man, new platforms. It's always hard to. It's always going to be tough to figure out the right way to police things and the wrong way to police things. Especially when you're a corporate company and you got people that probably work in that department that really don't know anything about the categories that that they're trying to police. It like I said, you got to break some eggs to make an omelet, right? And unfortunately, in this situation, I would hate for that egg that they break would be for Dennis Barger to get kicked off or whatnot. And like I said, he go on every podcast that will let him, telling that story, because Dennis Dennis has a loud voice. But this is just one of those things where I feel like companies can do them a lot of favors by hiring people that have a working knowledge of not only the job but the community within that job that job is related to. And that's definitely something that, because I don't like the fact that I can't give away a slab to the person who won the most auctions or the person who spent the most money with me. Like, I should be able to. So I guess the workaround for that would be for you to say on your IG, hey, whoever win the most auctions or whoever spend the most money, you gonna get this slab at the end of the night. I'm not gonna say it on whatnot, but at the end of the night, you gonna get this slab. And when you pack up they order, just put this, just put the slab
I know.
in there. Like
But,
it's
you
like
know,
it's convoluted, right? Because it's not anything that they can stop from happening. So the correct way to handle that would be set some parameters in place to make sure that people are not saying, because I understand what they're trying to stop. They're trying to stop people from doing illegitimate raffles.
yeah.
But if that's what you want to police that. Don't try to throw down a blanket rule that's gonna screw good people over and that's gonna mess up the customer experience. Because people used to love when I would say, okay, whoever spent $10 or more, your name is gonna get thrown into a raffle for this 9A slab. People used to love when I did that. People used to love it. Throw up a nice book. You don't got to spend a lot of money. Just come to the show, participate, buy something, and it's a good experience for everybody. To have that taken away, or for you to have to go, roundabout ways to deliver that message to your consumers, that's crazy to me.
Just sell raffle tickets with your books. They bought a raffle ticket.
You can't. No raffles. No interstate raffles or lotteries.
Yeah, and see, all it takes is for one person to get mad that they didn't win and go and report you. Like, so
Yep.
if you got a guy that had 20 raffle tickets and you got to had 115, the guy that had 15 might win. The guy that had 20 might feel screwed over and go and report. Or it could be vice versa. Like it's just you never know. You never know.
Bro,
So
that
just-
same thing happens in because I'm in the car community. People be trying to raffle up their cars, like they got a built car, and they're like, "Oh, let me just try to raffle it off." There have been people who have gotten in serious like legal trouble for doing that kind of stuff, but they do it on Facebook all the time, Facebook, IG, all sorts of different places as far as that goes. But a lot of states have laws where you actually have to have raffles done by a legal raffle house. Like they have to be the ones in control of it to make sure everything's on the up and up. So yeah, I mean, I can understand why.
It's like video games and loot boxes, man.
Yeah.
Loot boxes.
Oh, so Mike, can you go to YouTube and look up Wonder
yeah,
World
yeah.
Comics?
I got you.
I want to show this video off because this literally shows how this Marvel card market has changed. Just Wonder World Comics.
Reasonable doubt over there in the corner. Nice.
I still listen to music on YouTube. I'm cheap.
All right, now
All right.
just look at the channel and then search by most viewed videos. So yeah, look at that first video there. So I went to a card shop in May. Is it May of 2020? Yeah, right after the pandemic started. And I bought all three of these boxes for, I want to say like $400 or $500.
Right.
And I go through the whole thing, but there's like a stack of Stan Lee cards in here. All the chases are scattered throughout there. I mean, just a stupid amount of cards for dirt cheap. You couldn't touch this stuff now for anywhere near that. And like I said, from the pandemic, 5,600 views in 2 years. 2 years and 3 months. That's my best watched video.
Those are
Me
some
just
awesome
flipping through
cards,
cards.
yeah.
So much nostalgia.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I bought it. But, then like within a couple months of this, that card was like a $500 PSA 10, that Spider-Man, Cosmic Spider-Man card.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. It was a shop near me that had like a lot of Marvel like metal, a lot of the same stuff, man. And it was dirt cheap. And one day when I got the epiphany to go up there and buy them out on it, once I saw that the comic card market was heating up, somebody had already came and like completely cleared them out. I was like, damn it, man. But this definitely, like, just think about how much of this stuff is probably just sitting in shops or in storage
dude,
units, warehouses.
This guy threw out his ridiculous number for me to buy these, and I was like, okay. I mean, you could tell he had no clue what he wanted to charge for this, so he just threw out a ridiculous number.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think I paid. I think it was $400. Maybe like $350, but it might have been $400 at the tops.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, okay, that's about 1,000 cards. 25 cents a card. Yeah, okay.
I'll give you $450.
Nah, I'm good. I've already broken this up and put it in and mixed it in with my other shit already. Yeah, you can see the boxes behind there. When I that's all cards. That whole wall.
Damn.
Man, 7 or 8 years ago, the boxes of these were at flea markets and garage sales.
Oh, yeah.
It would be like $25, and we'd be like, nah.
Yep. I bought Marvel Masterpiece 92s at, I want to say, $20 a box. Yeah. And was happy when I sold one for $50, and I thought I was holding out. And then I still had like 2 or 3 boxes left when the market went stupid, and I got like $500 a box. I was like, okay, cashed out. I'm good.
They had a solid. There was like 3 months during the pandemic where they were just bonkers.
Well, and there's a lot of pump and dump going on with that too.
Yeah.
I saw a couple guys that were researching it and were like, see, this guy is selling the exact box he bought over here at $500. And he just put the same picture on his listing and sold it for $1,000 to somebody else. And yeah, there was a bunch of weird flipping going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's so much unrealized potential and a lot of stuff out here. This is just proof of it, man. Like, there go that Stan Lee. It's just proof of it. Like the way the comic card market took off is just, man, so much unrealized potential. And that's what I was saying about Scotty Young earlier. I think even though he's a popular artist now, like I still feel like his work is underappreciated. And then one day it's just gone.
I'm actually doing a bunch of Scotty Youngs in my sale tomorrow. I'm doing Dave Stevens covers and Marvel variants mixed tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely be in there to scoop up some of them Scotty Youngs. I got a big sale that I'm doing on Sunday. I'm gonna have at least 100 variants, and I got some pretty big. I got some pretty nice books lined up for that sale. This will probably be one of the bigger ones right here. 1 in 100. Dr. Afra #1,
Big.
and pretty tasty condition on this one. I got so much. I hadn't even began processing it, but I got so much stuff to pull out for the sale. 1 in 15 FF 19 First Onome
Ghost for sure.
Cool book.
That's a real ghost. That's a book that you don't see. But it's also, man, the Flash Thompson Venom. That was the real reason why people were chasing after that book, and then having that first appearance inside of it is just like, here's a bonus.
Yeah, the icing on the cake, and ain't that a part of a connecting cover too?
I believe it is that whole, or if it's not a connecting cover, it's a set.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was a part of a connecting cover. Yeah, because you can kind of tell how they cut off in here. So we'll have to look that one up and pull out and see what the complete cover looks like connected together.
Yeah.
But again, man, it's so much unrealized potential in comics and just collecting, period. But in comics right now, I think, it's a lot of opportunities to buy in cheap. People worried about the market. Bro, the market is always going to bounce back. Unless America in general just goes to complete crap, the market is always going to bounce back. Guys with extra money, y'all should be like spending right now, getting up on these cheap deals, these cheap Riri's, Miles, Kamala Khans, all this new stuff that's super cheap right now. Like, get in, man. I'm telling you, get in. I wish I had the expendable right now but just buy, those slab, especially the slab stuff, man. Like something I always tell people about slabs is these grading companies keep raising their prices, right? So if you doing big submissions, right? Why? Because I remember when I first got into grading books, like I was paying like $16 a book and waiting a couple of months to get them back. The books I was in at cover price on most of them. Some of those slabs, I think the last of those slabs, I just got around to selling them selling the last of them a couple of months ago. And even though they didn't get like the market highs, they still got like 20x value on them.
Well, I mean,
It's
that's really the key, Ninth. You know, like I was talking on Saturday's show. I just got to look at this shit as if I have $2 plus a $50 slab fee into it, because I use $40 to $50 slab fee, because I was just going 9/8 pre-screen and sending 50 books every other week to CBCS, and I'd get back 39/8. Okay, well, I have to pretend that I just have $42 to $52 into all those 9/8, because that's pretty much what I have into them. I bought everything at wholesale.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when I sell, like I'm looking at what do I have into the book. Fuck what the book is going for on eBay, anywhere else. What do I have in the book? What do I need to sell this for to make a reasonable profit? Everybody's not going to get market highs for their books. And I think that's part of the problem that we have right now, why we seeing some of these books go so low, because people are panicking. Oh no, I paid X amount for this book, and when I paid that amount for it, the book was going for this. So they get into a rush and sell it, which leads to a bunch of people just rush selling. Now, I'm about to say this, and I try not to talk down on anybody, and I hope anybody don't take this as talking down. I love the market reports that Long Short and Furrbird and those guys do, but this is my only problem with it. When you post that, oh, this book sold for $56, you got to post the facts behind it. A lot of them books got bad listings. Like you got words that in that listing that don't belong in there. You got characters and emojis and stuff. It makes it impossible for people to find it when they're searching for the book. We don't know what time of day the auction ended. That could have ended on Sunday at 3 a.m. And that's why that book went for so cheap. Another thing.
And then the other way around, when that book sold for so much, in a lot with 2 other books.
Yeah.
Can you, since you got YouTube up here, because nobody wants to just see my hands flipping through cards, type in Eddie Murphy 40 Trading Places Panic. Because to me, I literally live by this principle.
I was trying to see if it was in there. Trading Places is such a good movie.
It's such a great movie. Oh, they don't have it. Oh, there. That's it, right there.
Is this is it right here, ain't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if I get strike if I played this.
You probably would, but
I'm not monetized. I don't.
Oh, well, then there's nothing to strike, is there?
Big mistake. Let's hit rock bottom. Come on, let's buy.
Mortimer Duke here. Buy 200 Maybelline contracts at 66.8. Put it on my personal account.
It's a big mistake, man.
Valentine, something very important is going on here. Just watch.
Right, but you're gonna get reamed on this one. Well, why shouldn't we buy now, William? Price is gonna keep going down.
Randolph, this isn't monopoly money we're playing with.
This is Randolph, Duke. Hold that belly over a moment. Tell me just why you think the price of pork bellies is going down, William. It's Christmas time. Everybody's uptight.
Could we please buy now, Randolph?
Right, but if you want to lose money, go ahead.
What are you trying to say, William?
Okay, pork belly prices have been dropping all morning, which means everybody's sitting in their office and they're waiting for them to hit rock bottom so they can buy cheap and go long. So people that own the pork belly contracts are going batshit. They're thinking, hey, we're losing all our damn money. Christmas is around the corner, and I ain't gonna have no money to buy my son the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip, okay? And my wife ain't gonna make love to me because I ain't got no money, right? So they sitting there and they panicking, they screaming, sell, sell, because they don't want to lose all their money, right? They out there panicking right now. I can feel it. They out there. They're panicking. Look at them.
He's right, Mortimer. My God, look at it.
I wait till you get to about 64, then I'd buy. You've cleared out all the suckers by then.
Do you realize how much money he just saved us?
Money isn't everything, Randolph.
Advise our clients.
That's it, man. I feel like Eddie Murphy every time I hear that the market is panicking. I'm just like, oh, they ain't done yet. They're still panicking. And I see it. I see it around, man. The amount of phone calls I've been getting this week to sell collections is stupid.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, I don't get that mentality. Like, you invested, like, if you doing this right, let me just say that if you're doing this right, you should be invested like pennies on the dollars into these books. Like, you should be buying these books pre-FOC, getting them at $2.50, or at least buying them at cover price. You know, even if you invest, let's say you bought the book as a 9.8 when it was at its peak. Ooh, I love that cover right there, Ultra. Even if you bought the book when it was at its peak, like, you still shouldn't be down, you know, you shouldn't be down bad. You shouldn't be that down bad to where you want to sell the book below what you paid for it just to get some of your money back. You should even more so want to ride out the wave and see if the book won't back up. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, legitimately, what's the worst that could happen? If the book is already down like 25% of where it was previously at, what's the worst that can happen from here?
But we used to talk about this when the comic and card markets first started merging, when the sports card market, and people from the sports card market look at our census and they're like, are you kidding me? There are not that many copies of these books being graded compared to the card market.
Yeah, there's people out there that specifically go out of their way to target books that have a low census population and then continue to tell people how rare they are in grade when it's just a book that nobody cared about grading before.
Exactly.
100%.
I preach that 24/7. Like, bro, census does not matter. Because I'm gonna give you a prime example. Now, a prime example of that. This book right here. It's not the book y'all think it is. Why can't I? Oh, here, let me.
Is that the Marvel Tales? Oh, yeah.
This is the Marvel must-have of Miles Morales' first appearance in a 9.6. 9.6 is the highest grade on the census. So that's what I bought because that's the highest grade available for this book. And I try to get everything Miles. This is something that everybody don't have in a collection. But if we want to be real about it, nobody was grading no damn Marvel must-have. It's only 40s on the CGC census. That's because nobody was grading these books. Now, is there a possibility that every copy of this book that's available right now looks like pure shit and nobody might ever hit a 9.8 on this?
Possibly.
There's a possibility. But
well,
the rarity
they crammed 3 issues in those and stapled them like there was a single issue.
Exactly.
There's so many spine splits on those, so I'm thinking 9.6 might be the top out on that one.
Yeah, it's the top. It's the top grade. So to me, this was a buy that I made because I realized, like, hey, bro, this book is thick. The paper quality ain't all that. Like, it's a Marvel must-have. These have probably been sitting around shops. These have been sitting around shops since what, 2010, 2011. So a book a book that's almost 10, 11 years old. Like, let's say 11. Because
no, it's got to be 2012 because he just had his 10th anniversary in 11.
Yes, 12. So this book is about 10 years old. A Marvel must-have. Nobody cared about Marvel must-haves back then. So is it rare? Only about 8,000 of the Marvel must-haves printed. So it's rare because nobody cared about it. Nobody took care of it. And that's why it's only 4 on the census in a 9.6. I could throw this on eBay and say, "Oh, this is a $1,000 book," and have somebody buy it fake sale bullshit, and then everybody will be rushing to try to get a 9.8 or 9.6 in this Marvel must-have, but my integrity is set up to where I can't do that. Because
See how my bank account set up is.
You know what I'm saying? Like the way my integrity account is set up. Look,
Well, but see, it's
I got
harder
a
to do
checking and
that.
a savings, but
see,
that's the
it's harder
thing.
to
I
do
did
that
all the
because-
research on this book, and I chose to tell people, hey, this is why it's not that many of this book on the census, guys. I could have did the dirty thing. I bought this book for very cheap. Could have threw it on eBay, had somebody buy it for $1,000, went on one of these shows, explained, oh, that's probably why that book sold for $1,000. Act like I never owned the book. I didn't know nothing about it. Oh, I just did the research because this sale popped up, and then had everybody going crazy for this book. But I realized, hey, somebody might try to do that. As crazy as the market is on mail, somebody might try to do that. So as soon as I saw this book pop up and it wasn't super expensive, I bought it. I put it on my IG and I explained exactly what this book was and why there was only 4 9.6s on the census and no 9.8s. So there's some other numbnuts that gets the idea that, oh, yeah, I'm about to do X, Y, and Z to the market. Nah, you can't do that now because it's too late for that. All right, I think Ultra got something he's trying to show. Ooh, our Adam sticker. What's in there?
Oh, nice.
Marvel Legacy Art Adams exclusive with the first cover appearance of the new Phoenix.
Yeah.
On his 3,000 copy variant. So there's this variant, and then there's two other ones. The other one has a Jean Grey version of it. So that one's kind of cool. And then I did find another Scotty Young book. I think I showed it to you, though. And that was that Groot, I Am Groot #1, 50 copy. Just kind of going through all the books that.
Is that Brandon Peters or David Peterson's Groot?
The I Am.
Oh,
Groot
no, that's right.
series?
Scotty did one, but I think you're thinking of the 1 in 50. I think was David Peterson.
No,
he might have been the 1 in 25. I can't remember.
The 1 in 50 is the same, just black
There's
and white.
two. There's a Smallwood 1 in 50 as well. I think is what you're thinking of. But yeah, it's this one.
Okay.
So this is a 1 in 50 of it, and then this is reused artwork because I think it was Guardians. Is Guardians of the Galaxy #7?
It's #1. No, #7 is the 1 in 100 with Rocket.
Also, they did a print of that. Remember the little
Yes.
giveaway prints? They did a giveaway of the color.
So there is a #1 Guardians of the Galaxy of that volume. So it's volume 3, #1, that has this but colorized. So that's where that.
Yeah, I got it right here.
This has been Spec Talk with Ultra. Thanks. Goodbye, full screen.
Yeah, here's the colored one. So it's a different
yes.
book altogether. So Guardians 1 is different from Groot 1.
Yeah.
But you want the black and white one. I don't have my #7 here because I just sent it away with that. Yeah, not many of those ones.
Rocksteady, when you send books off to grading, do you do like YouTube, unboxings or anything like that?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna start doing a little more YouTube. I just hang out with newbie. It's a lot of work. Like, credit to you guys who run your own ships. I don't think you guys often get enough credit, and you guys get hate. But like, I roll with newbie, and he does the majority of the work. I just come in and talk shit, right? But you guys, kudos to you. I don't have time for that. I do post on my Instagram just what I open up and what I'm interested in, but take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, man, you should. I've been doing unboxings on Monday, so when you get your orders back from CGC, you should come on and do an unboxing with me.
Okay.
My mentality towards making content is always finding ways that's easy to make content, because you're right, it's a lot of hard work. A lot of time goes into making content, so like I always try to find easy ways to make content, which is why I just came up with this show. Like, hey, let's just sit around and talk comics, no agenda. Like I normally have something to lead the show off with, but basically whoever comes on, whatever you want to talk about, like you can come on and talk about it. And I'm not going to hold anybody back from talking about what they want to talk about and saying what they want to say. Like my only rule for the show is if you on this show and somebody else come on the show that you don't like, either y'all can have trial by combat or you can sit there and shut the fuck up and take it. You know what I'm saying? That'd be my only thing, because I feel like it's too much in the comic book community where everybody want to have an opinion about each other, but nobody wants to share that opinion with that person that they had that opinion about and understand why they feel that way or why they think that, or why they have the differences that they do. And I always offer this as an open platform for people with differences. Hey, come and express publicly why you feel this way. And goddamn it, I'll let you know who right and who wrong. If you don't like my opinion, you can kiss my ass too. But for the most part, like I said, I just want an open forum where we can really just talk about comics, and just sit around and bullshit. Because I feel like now almost every YouTube show has some type of agenda to it, whether that agenda is hidden or if it's really transparent and you can see through what that person is trying to achieve by making that content. I feel like this is just like, hey, this just people I know showing up to sit around and talk about comics and bullshit.
Can we actually go a little open forum and ask? Have you seen the way Journo and Thorough are duking it out? Speaking of the dramas and the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't like that because I think both of those guys I think they good dudes. But
I think they're above it. But
yeah,
somehow...
I think they above it, man. I didn't even like them talking about the UF4 stuff. I didn't like Bronze Age talking about the UF4 stuff because I feel like they're above it. Now I know I'm gonna sound real. I'm about to contradict myself. I'm gonna contradict myself by saying this. I don't mind Dennis talking about that because Dennis is known for being a disruptor. You know what I'm saying? Dennis is known for being a disruptor. Like, if Dennis feel like something is bullshit, he gonna call it out and he gonna say it. But the thing I know about Dennis is Dennis gonna say it to people's face too. Like, I can vouch for that firsthand. I done seen if Dennis feels something is bullshit, he gonna go up there to your face and let you know, I think this is bullshit. This is why I think it's bullshit. And Dennis is gonna stand on what he believe in. I'm not saying that Thorough and Journo are not that way, but I know that they don't need to do that to make good content, and they definitely don't need to go back and forth with each other to make good content. And that's why I don't like it. Like some clowns, I know that's the only way they can get hits is if they drag somebody else through the mud or if they talk about controversial issues. They just can't make good organic content and build a following that way. They gotta stay in the mess. They pigs. They gotta live in the dirt.
I hit on something on that Saturday show, and I've been thinking about it for the last 3 days now, 2 days. We all watch way too much wrestling, and we all enjoy it way too much. Everybody wants to heel turn at some point in this game.
Yeah.
And what they don't understand is it's way cooler to just always be Vince McMahon and just always be the heel.
Yeah. I say to myself,
I just want to drop from the rafters like Sting. That's all.
Yeah. I say to myself a long time ago, if I was Comic Tom, I would have been turned heel. I would have been telling all y'all kiss my ass. I'm getting my money off my subscription boxes. I'm getting my whatnot money, et cetera, et cetera. All y'all can kiss my ass. I don't care what y'all got to say.
Say what you want about Tom, but I hear rumors that he can box.
Hey, y'all better stop playing with Tom. Tom Puerto Rican. I'm gonna tell y'all this. Y'all can think what y'all want about Tom, but when I was in San Diego at the whatnot house and we had a party, I talked to Comic Pops for like an hour. And you want to talk about an interesting dude, a cool Comic Pops? Yeah. He definitely OG Boricua. You know what I'm saying? Like, Comic Pops is a cool guy. But Tom, he from a different generation. You know what I'm saying? That's something else that people gotta understand. Like I can understand both sides of the generations because of my age And then, you know, I have my grandparents in my life, and my grandparents are older, so I got a different set of, you know, core values. But like this new generation is different, right? Like you think about the new generation, they talk about optics and a brand and stuff like that, you know, but I was raised on morals and integrity, principles. And something I always tell people is when you if you try too hard to make people like you, people will naturally revolt against you because they can see through it. You trying too hard. But if you just be yourself for whatever, you know, whatever that is, whether you an asshole, whether you the nicest person on earth, it's easier to keep up with who you really are than trying to put up a facade. Like when a lot of people first meet me, they be like, "Damn, Ninth, you mean you don't talk a lot. Like, why you looking crazy?" Like, ask Dennis. First time me and Dennis met in person at Orlando, like we was chilling in a hotel with a few other.
Well,
With
we
it
met
was
at
me, Mel.
C2E2.
Yes, no, C2E2, but Orlando, like that's like the first time we really just kicked it.
Yeah.
Was in Orlando. We was me, Mel, and Dennis was out till like 5 a.m. At the hotel bar just talking, drinking, and there was a couple of other people there. And you know, I was just sitting there kind of quiet, you know, observing everything, you know. But me, I gotta observe first. I gotta see what's going on around me. And then once I say, okay, everybody here cool, or once I learn who the assholes is and who not the assholes, then I can operate a little bit more freely because I know, okay, I need to avoid that asshole over there, but you know, this person is cool, or this guy run his mouth too much. I gotta peep my surroundings first. Once I peep my surroundings and I know that I'm in good spaces, then I become more talkative and I'll be more relaxed. But
That was
until I'm
what I was saying. That was what I was saying to McClay when he was like shitting all over ECC. But then all of his stories are about hanging out with this guy and hanging out. Dude, I don't go to cons to sell comics, and I don't go to cons to buy comics. I go to cons to see my bros, and then if some comic buying or selling happens, great.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn,
That's
man.
why I'm so pissed that I didn't meet you at Orlando, jackass.
Well,
yeah, that's the way Dennis roll, man. I never seen Dennis press to sell or Dennis press to go and buy comic books. Like if it's
In
some
fact,
cool shit
I
there,
refused to sell. Remember when that chick wanted to buy the Tosin?
yeah, the Tosin, yeah.
And I'm like, hey, that's fine. Find me tomorrow, 300 cash. But I got eBay right now. I got PayPal right now. No, I want 300 cash. I want 400 by PayPal.
Yeah.
But no, that's cool. Find me tomorrow. She never found me, so I still had that Torrin Clark. I don't care. I don't need $300.
I really have high hopes for Tosin. That's all I'm going to say there.
I do too, man. I do too. You know what? Actually, his books had dipped a little bit. Let me go to the eBays right quick. But they actually
it's what I like to talk to and refer to as the memory hole. It gets memory hole. People forget about it. The price of the book falls.
No, they back up now though. They have went down a little bit, but they back up.
In comparison to the rest of the market, they're holding up strong.
Yeah, like I would actually say they are pretty fucking strong right now.
To be honest, except for like the Jusco variant, like
look,
the
August 22nd, 1,000 for 900. I sold one on Whatnot. I sold one on Whatnot. I instantly regretted it, but I think I got like 800 for it or something like that. So like the market is still there. I think it's just you got some people out there that's saying, "Oh, well, look, Marvel's not really using him in comics, and you know, it's other people that's been in these Black Panther books. It's other first appearances in there. I think it's only one other first appearance in this current Black Panther series.
There is no other character so keyed into the social justice movement of environmental climate change than Tosin is. He's just wish fulfillment for the people who need a character. And like over at DC, you got Poison Ivy, and you got, this is a character that literally could do everything that the creators want it to do and be more relevant than all the characters that came before him. for that point.
Yeah.
I just, there's something about when I heard what he was about, I was like, oh, damn, this is so perfect.
And it's kind of like Ultra said, they basically just, since everybody took Killmonger, they just kind of ripped off Killmonger's story and gave it to somebody that I'm guessing Tosin is like in the same age group as Miles, right? And as much as I love Miles and I'm a big supporter of Miles, there is a side of me that has to admit that I'm a little worried about the relationship between Sony and Marvel, and with Sony possibly being the ones to release that Miles movie and not have Marvel at the helm of it. And I'm also worried about like the lack of continuity between the Spider Universe and Marvel. So if you Marvel and you like, look, man, like they done made good money off of Miles, you know, so far through selling comic books, merchandise, things of that nature, action figures. But if you're thinking about long term and having an IP that you 100% control, and you've already seen what's made Miles successful, if you can replicate that and you get 100% of the pie instead of having to split it, like why wouldn't you want to do that?
Man, Sony just needs to finish the Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Garfield, let that trilogy end, and then go back and revisit the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and let Tom Holland Spider-Man do whatever he needs to do in the MCU related stuff. Everybody wins. Everybody gets their spider stories complete. You know,
I'll give you 3 reasons why I think this is the longest play you've seen play out in Kevin Feige and dealing with Sony.
Oh, he won because we
First,
all. Well, do you know the caveat for the deal with Sony?
No. Well, go ahead.
If they have one Spider-Man movie that loses money, back to Marvel.
Right.
So every time there's been a big success with Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, that has kept the contract with Sony. They need a Spider-Man bomb for the rights to
which they have about 3 of them on deck.
But those are not Spider-Man bombs. That's the problem. Those are just properties that are owned.
But here, I'll give you my 3 reasons.
Yeah.
Reason number 1, we had an animated universe kind of pop in with America Chavez and Doctor Strange popping universe to universe.
Yeah, that was neat.
Reason 2, you saw Toby, Andrew, and Tom Holland and all of their villains scattered into the largest grossing movie that either studio had last year. And reason 3 is Miles makes them a ton of money off a very little expense making animated movies and got them the first Oscar Sony has gotten for a comic book movie. Those 3 reasons is Kevin Feige sits there and goes, guys, we just want you to hold out on doing a live action Miles until 2025, 2026, when we want to do Secret Wars.
Hey y'all, give me 1 second. I don't mean to cut in on y'all, but I want to thank my brother Mello for coming on the show. Mello, you know, you always invited. You family, you got a home here. Mello got to hop off to do a conference call, but brother, thank you for coming on, man.
Some big things, guys. I appreciate y'all.
All right, man.
Later again.
All right,
thanks, man.
Later,
I'm gonna bounce. Take advantage.
All right,
of
man. Rock, thank you for coming on, brother. First appearance on here, man. You can stop by anytime. I'm trying to get Newbie to come on here.
Okay. He
acting like he's busy, but I'm gonna get Newbie on here, man.
All right.
Eventually.
We'll take this stuff over. Thanks, everybody. Yeah.
All right, Rock. Have a good night, brother. All right, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Did I run everybody off?
No. Rocksteady sent me he invited me on to Newbie's show for Newbie's 200th episode, and where he had actually sent out the link to a whole bunch of people, which was really, really tight. So shout out to him.
No, so I just think that when you see the way Feige drops little markers and you see the way Sony has dropped their markers, I honestly just feel that there's enough of these little strings, these little clues between these, between these properties and these companies that they're hinting at a way to make all of it come together at the end of this phase 5. And then we get the same Miles and Peter walking into the universe, the new universe that comes after it, together, just like that classic cover of Secret Wars 8.
Well, we hope, but that's the 1 in 25 incentive. But man, I tell you, there's been a lot of like heat coming from the Feige camp towards Sony on this. Feige's flat out warned Sony to try to stop trying to replicate what the MCU has done with a connected universe. They did it with Morbid Time, where they put Spider-Man propaganda in that one. But also, man, I feel that anytime I see a casting announcement for a Spider-Man related property in the Sony universe, I always feel it's like they're fishing. They're fishing to see if the public would accept this type of thing. And most of the time, it's horrible. The Craven movie completely filmed on location. Did you hear that?
No.
Yes.
Where?
Well, that's to be determined. If they're doing the story that I think they're doing, it's all going to be basically Siberia and
God.
Like all the correct Craven locations except for the Savage Land. But if they are doing the story that I think they're doing, where Craven is a clone, and they're gonna just show the son of Craven being the last living clone of Craven, talking to his older self while he goes on a nature boy hunt through the wilderness and ends up in Siberia skinning stuff.
Okay, well, just think, if you were Kevin Feige and you understood how to do this like the back of your hand, because you learned from Dick Donner alongside Jeff Johns when you were 20 years old, first coming out to LA, and you sat by and you watched Brett Ratner shit out an X-Men movie, and you saw you saw all the shit that came before they finally gave you the keys and said, all right, Kevin, nothing's on the line here. Just do something. We're trying to sell ourselves off to Disney. Do something that doesn't humiliate us.
Joss Whedon just did an Avengers movie, but here you go.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he obviously is keeping his job because he's good at what he does. But what do you... I just don't see any of these Sony spinoffs doing anything.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. While Ninth is muted and we have the floor all to ourselves, and eventually we'll just do this show along with some other people.
Come on, just get it out.
All right. The worst of the Sony movies, are they better or worse than the worst of the DC movies? Because, I mean, I don't know. I'm more interested to see Madam Web than I am to see Michael Keaton in a Batgirl movie that Zaslav shit can.
Well, I've got good news for you. You're never going to see that one.
I know. But guess what? I also never wanted to see Madam Web, but now I guess I'm going to see Madam Web.
Madam Web won't even be about Spider-Man.
I know.
The thing. Madam Web's movie will be
multiverse.
A far cry of something even remotely related to Spider. See, and this is just it. This is where they, like, when Kevin Feige was sitting next to the director of Venom, and she's like, "Oh, Venom is in the MCU," and he had that like, "Hello, darkness, my old friend." No, it's not.
Look, we invited the entire family, including the second cousin who married into it.
Oh.
Okay, don't get cocky and try to like steal the family's recipes.
But Kevin Feige's like, you know what? I'm going to find a way to make that work.
He's giving them just enough rope to hang themselves, so that he can get Spider-Man back 100%, lock, stock, and two smoking barrels.
Because imagine a world in which the Marvel Cinematic Universe has the ability to drop Spider-Man in basically every movie the same way Stan Lee used to put Spider-Man in every comic book.
Yep.
Spider-Man would usually appear by issue 3 in most books. In a new book, at least.
Yeah.
Guest starring Spider-Man. You know, it was always a big deal. They even did it in Transformers, which was weird. I'm like,
Yeah.
why is Spider-Man in Transformers? And what's even more strange is that he's black suit Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, it's key because Spider-Man, better than everything else, was just their way of saying, look, guys, this is the threat. And it always starts with Peter taking a picture and then it getting out of control and then Peter having to put the suit on.
Mm-hmm.
But Peter taking the picture or the Daily Bugle being in an off-brand comic book immediately says, this is the real 616. We're not, Captain America ain't here, but Spider-Man is.
Max Sin City Collectibles said people mainly weren't happy with Feige during the ASM films. And you know what? Was that during the Amazing Spider-Man films with
because he wouldn't let him play with any of it.
Well, yeah, because they were like, we want this resurrection story to be the story that we're telling here, and he's like, you guys are missing out on all the other good universe building I could be doing with Spider characters right now. But no, we need this resurrection story.
Oh yeah. Lizard and Captain Stacy, sure, go for it.
That was the only rope they gave him in the first movie. The second movie was where they hamstrung him and said,
"Oh, Jamie Foxx, where he's covered in blue."
Yeah,
sure, go for it.
At least he got redemption in No Way Home on that one. But yeah, there was a lot of like him wanting to be comic book accurate with the Gwen Stacy death thing. I think was like amazing, and that was like everybody's like, it was such a bad movie. It ended on such a low note. I'm like, do you guys not know what happened? And also, there were deleted scenes of Mary Jane. That's the missing component to that film is the introduction of Mary Jane. She's the neighbor. She's a friend. She's there for Peter when he goes through this devastating loss, and she's there to try to cheer him up because she wants to let him know that, you know, she may be gone, but life is not over, and she would want him to continue to be Spider-Man and to go on, that type of thing. Yeah. So they missed a golden opportunity because the actress that they pulled for MJ in that film was spot on. Emma Stone being, you know, Gwen Stacy was spot on. All of the actor choices and actress choices for that were spot on. But man, they just dropped the ball by never doing the third film.
Well, I personally accepted Amazing 1. I barely tolerated Amazing 2. I did not like him. I thought it was the continuing of making Spider-Man less unique. And follow me on this. Amazing Fantasy 15. One radioactive spider bites one Peter Parker, and you get one Spider-Man. Then you get Toby Man, and I believe it was 19 spiders, right? And then they counted it, and they're like, wait, there's only, or wait, maybe it was supposed to be 20, and then she was like, she counted them, and there was only 19, but one had escaped.
Yeah.
And that's the one that bit. And I'm like, I always said to myself, I'm like, well, fuck, you're going to have 19 more Spider-Mans running around when those fuckers escape.
Mm-hmm. Silk, Cindy Moon, I thought was going to be one of the ones that they might.
Right. And then they restart all of that by going, and then the first Amazing Spider-Man movie, there's literally a million fucking spiders in that room, and it bites Peter, and he becomes, and then you're like, well, that's stupid. Now you can have a million Spider-Mans. And then the second movie, they're like, oh, but wait. They designed the spider to go specifically to their young sons. I'm like, what?
So you know that's directly from the Ultimate Spider-Man run, right?
No.
Okay. So this is where I will give Amazing Spider-Man probably a little bit more credence in your wheelhouse, because the Amazing Spider-Man run was a kind of an amalgamation of the Ultimate Spider-Man run.
Okay.
What they would have eventually done is they would have introduced Eddie Brock. They would have made the Venom suit the way it was in the Ultimate Spider-Man series, and had it kind of been like genetically engineered
Yeah.
by both Peter's parents and Eddie's parents.
Okay.
And then that's the reason why Eddie was able to get the suit. I actually have the PlayStation game, the PS2 game, Ultimate Spider-Man. And that's like a big Venom story in there. So, you know, they could have done a lot more things. And in another parallel universe, Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man ever.
I thought he got, here's my thing is I thought Toby got Peter right. And I thought Andrew got Spider-Man right. And I just think Tom Holland is that porridge in the middle. It's just right. He's just perfect on both ends.
Tom Holland is a clone of Stan Lee.
Oh, and that that's a bad thing because?
Well, I mean, it's just Stan Lee reincarnating himself.
Yeah.
You know, so you can
I would clone Stan Lee tomorrow if I could.
Well, you know, that's how he's continuing on to amass his fortune and continuing on his lifetime. Well, one day Tom Holland will purchase Marvel Comics and everything will be complete. The circle will be complete.
There you go.
He really is though.
Have you heard this rumor? I heard this rumor today, and tell me if you heard it and if what credence you give it, because I give it about 0.
All right, shoot.
So apparently, I don't know which direction this comes from, but apparently Chris Evans is pissed off and went to Feige and said, I'll do another Captain America movie, but this is what I want it to be about. And it'll be a chance for an alternate universe Cap and Falcon teaming up to fight fascists, and Captain America is going to denounce America. Have you heard this? I mean, it sounded like a crazy, like, Doomcock conspiracy theory.
No, but they did confirm that Captain or Red Skull's daughter will be in New World Order.
I did see that. Yeah. What is that? 290? Cap 290 is her first.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going crazy for a little while, but it's a book that, you know, some people are interested in picking up.
Hey, Ultra, it's our kryptonite. I'm all for it.
That's not that high up on the red kryptonite list, but it's red kryptonite. It counts.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Oh man, I don't. If I kind of already feel like Marvel is getting too woke with these movies, and if they go that woke, man, I don't know.
Well, you know, just shout out to Young Ripa. He's the one that called I forget what they call it, but it's ginger side or ginger something, where they have taken something like 20 redheaded freckled characters and race swapped or gender swapped them in both the comic book companies. And at a certain point, you're just like, okay,
like what's going on here? Because
you know, I was like, why is it only gingers?
Oh, you know, Ultra definitely ain't trying to hear that.
Well, no, I could tell you, I witnessed it happening too. Did you guys know that Shauna the She-Devil, originally a redhead, before they made her a blonde? So that's
what if they
one
change
character.
MJ?
MJ's an
MJ's
original
already
redhead,
changed.
bro.
It's Zendaya.
Well, no, that's the movie version. Nobody cares about that. Come on now. I think she broke up with Tom Holland, and that's why he's like taking a hiatus.
Oh, he saw the writing on the wall with that one. It was like, all right, you're going to go off to college, and I'm going to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
No, I think it was probably the other way around. She's probably like, I'm leaving you for the dude from Dune.
Oh, yeah. I don't think the Dune from Dune is that into her.
Oh? I don't know. But Dune 2 is filming right now, so that's interesting.
I'll tell you what. Can we talk Dune for a second?
Sure.
Do you have an opinion on this? How old are you, Ultra? You're like 40, right?
I'm old enough to party.
Yeah, but you're in your 40 zone, not the 50 zone like me.
Yeah.
I saw Dune in the theaters at like age 12, and I wasn't dropping acid, so I had no fucking clue what was going on. Okay. Then I watched it on cable, and I still didn't know what the fuck was going on. Then I watched it in college with a little bit of augmented reality attached to it. I still didn't get, but it looked a lot prettier. Then I saw, by the way, Dennis rhymes with tennis, Denis rhymes with penis. Okay, so if you put a Denis, you're Denis Villanova. Quit fucking using my name. I'm just fucking telling you right now. You're Denis. Denis Villanova, whatever your name is. But for the first time, I understood Dune. And so this new version, I finally understood what was going on.
Yeah. Because they actually explain it, and then
right. And then I went back and watched David Lynch's, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's what he was trying to do. Oh, he sucked at doing that.
So the Dune books apparently are like multiple generations of this family. So we're only getting to see like the start. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see where the second movie goes. As far as the special effects have now finally grown into making it possible. What you saw with Patrick Stewart back in the day, yeah, no, like think of Patrick Stewart in Excalibur.
Mm-hmm.
How far advanced were those special effects?
They did, everything was practical.
And then look at what they used for Dune. And it's like, yeah, okay. You can make a good like night movie, but you couldn't make a good space movie back then.
You forgot the Patrick Stewart movie in between those two.
Man, there's a bunch.
Life Force.
Yeah.
You don't need a lot of special effects when you have a naked woman walking around England the entire movie.
Yeah, that's the one where she was like sucking the life force out of people, and like people like would go skinny and stuff like that. Was it like an orb in that movie too?
Not only there was an orb. When they merge together, there's kind of an orb around the two of them when they transcend up to the satellite and take off.
Lots of weird movies, man. 70s, 80s, 90s got some of the best movies that people don't even know about.
Yeah.
And which reminds me, there's an early printing of that Reasonable Doubt album, and then there's a late printing.
Oh, am I missing something in the chats? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, there is. We need to do a fucking Spec Matrix on CD printings.
Yo, bro.
Because that's a whole other rabbit hole. Because, man,
yeah, Big Remo's got it. That's originally what the pitch was: Space Vampires.
Yeah. I was young buying CDs. Like, I was like 11, 12, in the late 90s, 99, 2000, buying, walking to, because I was living in DC at the time, walking to, the record / CD store and buying, CDs on, I was buying CDs like comics on, new release day, right? Back then, what CDs used to come out on Tuesday?
Yeah.
I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, the CDs used to come out. So every Tuesday I would go and buy. I remember the day when Outkast, Aquemini, Jay-Z, Hard Knock Life Volume 2, and something else came out on the same day. You know the meme where the guy's sweating and he got to choose which button he was going to press? That was me on that day, man. It was so hard for me because I could only get 2 albums, but it was like 3 or 4 albums.
Yeah, but they were like $20 a piece back then. CDs were like $20 a piece.
Nah, $12 if you went to a good place. If you overpaid,
like if you went to like Sam Goodies, if you went to like Sam Goodies or somewhere like that.
I was in a small town, and the only place that sold them were the expensive places in the mall.
Yeah,
exactly. I had a record tape traders, and then of course you could always do the BM.
I've got about 20
BMG.
aliases. I got about 20 aliases of 12 CDs for $1.
So what was that CD company that everybody owes money to?
Yeah.
Oh, CD Now, is it?
No. Capital
Capital,
Columbia.
yeah.
Columbia House.
Columbia
Yes,
House,
Columbia House. We will
The
send
90s,
you
man.
all the music you will ever want for your soul.
I remember I filled out like 4 of those with 4 different names, all arriving to the same address, and I just couldn't imagine. I'm like, it's got to be the same guy packing up all 4 of these orders, and I got all 4 of the orders, and I just can't believe they did it. How did they make money? They never.
So let me tell you what I used to do. It was a place that bought and sold CDs.
Mm-hmm.
So I would order the CDs, and then I would go to this.
Wait, statute of limitations is up, right?
It's definitely up, and I would go to these stores and trade the CDs in and get money for them.
Yep.
And I would also do I would trade CDs with my friends at school. So that gave me more stuff to trade, man. It's always a.
And then the same company did the shit when DVDs came out too. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And I'm like, did you learn from CDs, you dummies?
But you got to think it's costing them pennies to make those CDs.
Oh, I know.
Like the fact that they could put that stuff on people's credit is wild to me. That's the wild part. If you really just want to get into it, is the fact that they can make that they can charge that type of stuff to people credit, man. Like,
have you guys watched the documentary called "All Things Must Pass"?
No, I haven't. What's it about?
It's about the rise and fall of Tower Records.
Oh,
and it's phenomenal. And as a retailer, I watched it on a plane going from Detroit to San Diego for San Diego Comic-Con. And dude, it was literally the best red pill I could have taken, because when I landed, I was like, everyone needs to watch this. Every retailer in here needs to watch this, because there's nothing to protect even the biggest of you if everything goes south tomorrow.
and you know what? I actually, the last time before I left Seattle was the first and last time I ever stepped foot into a Tower Records store. So I remember having that experience at least once in my life.
Yeah.
But they're gone. And there's a good reason why they were gone. Everything in those stores was marked up so far that you could go to Still a Sam Goody and save $5.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why even bother? Like, it's kind of like it would be the equivalent of that store that either has variant covers at a set price every week on release, or you have that store that prices everything on eBay release day.
Yeah.
And Tower Records was that.
They had to rebuild the Tower Records for that Pam and Tommy movie that came out last year.
Huh.
And they rebuilt, because the famous location in LA plays a part in the movie. And they rebuilt it perfectly.
Yeah, I'm it's so crazy, man, the way that society has changed from a lot of stuff being brick and mortar to now everything being online. But if you look at like a lot of the shops, like brick and mortar shops that's thriving, like they sell a bunch of old shit.
Yep.
But
it was just like I was talking earlier. Everybody's running around. The sky is falling in the comic market. Meanwhile, I'm looking at everybody losing their shit over Marvel cards. Okay, I'll switch to that for a while. I got the store on cruise control. I'll switch over to Marvel cards on Whatnot, see if that does something. If not, I'll switch over to action figures. I got that covered. DT saw that documentary. And it got me to thinking. When I got back, I started putting into place the idea for the store I just opened in April, because that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to make myself diamond new comic proof.
Which is a smart idea in my opinion.
I've been accused for worse.
You don't have to worry about taking loss after loss on new comic book day books. You know what I'm saying? Or being so scared to order that you miss out on something big. Appreciate you, Tony.
FOMO the other direction is worse, I think. All the retailers not wanting to miss the next Black Panther 3, and they hit 4, 5, 6, 7, and we still don't know if 9 is going to be the big reveal, you know?
Is that number 4 Hans variant $20 yet? I told everybody that was my price. I said, when that thing's at 20, I'm buying.
Well, remember, everybody was losing their mind for that Souza Micah, and now you could get it, the 9.8, for the price of what everybody was paying for Raw.
Which one? The Harley with the...
No, the Catwoman.
Yeah, the Harley and Catwoman cover, the photo, the
is that
Polaroid
one down?
photo.
One of them is down. I can't remember which one it is.
Her first cover or the...
I can't remember. It's either that one or the
Red Claw.
But one of them is down to the Raw. One of them, the 9.8 is down to the Raw price, right?
I think it's the first one with her laying in the diamonds.
Yeah, because they reprinted it exactly the same, but with a different color or something, right?
They did a second print with a purple background, and then
I'm just so burnt out on. I'm so burnt out on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't know how to take a good concept and just let it breathe.
Well, it's also everybody's like all of them are down. Well, yeah, everything is down after it's been up because that's the only place it goes. Because there's still copies of these books that are coming to sale. Yeah, Souza will always be a cult classic because of just not only her art style, but just the...
Can we talk a little out of school?
What's that?
Can we talk a little out of school, Ninth? I think we had this conversation. I don't know if you want to admit it or not, so I'll just pretend like it's just me.
Yeah.
You know what I honestly think happened with that, Ninth? I think she got a little John Burned. And I'll explain. Everybody was hot. She looked hot. She drew hot. She drew hotness. She drew iconic things that we all... And then people met her and realized, oh, I think this is kind of just about the money for her. And she's really not that personable in person.
I
know you don't want to talk out of school.
No, I'm gonna always tell the truth. I'm gonna always tell the truth. If something is true, I'm gonna speak on it. I definitely know she's had some instances in public that might not look good on the surface, but if you know the full story behind it, it's not that bad. But I will say, now this is where I'm talking out of school, and I hope nobody don't get mad, but I met her at a club in Chicago, and she was very, very, very cool. Her, Phil, Vintage Toys and Comics, and who else was it? And Ray Steele. We were all on the only 4 people dancing in the entire club, all on the dance floor, dancing, having a good time. Then I think just her first year doing cons, and if you don't know what to expect, man, cons will kick your ass.
I just know I had a couple people say, yeah, I met her. She was kind of a dick to me. And then I went over to try to meet her in Orlando. Fuck, she was never at her booth.
Yeah, she had got sick during Orlando.
Oh, okay.
And then, like I said, I just think cons is a different beast. You know what I'm saying?
I just think that might also be why she stopped being the flavor of the week. So
that can definitely mess with your money when people go out to these cons. If you go out to these cons, if you not what people expect for you to be, that can definitely mess with your money.
And Lewis, I'm not trying to say nothing negative. I'm just saying what I heard.
Yeah, but
because I think you and I had that conversation.
Like, yeah, she's definitely a cool person. But some of these artists are. I hate to use this phrase, and I'm not saying this to her, but some artists are socially awkward because you just got to kind of think about their lifestyle and their day-to-day job. They probably spend a lot of time by themselves, entrenched into their work, and that can cause, a little bit of social anxiety.
Same thing with actors, man. I used to rep actors for 5 years, and you could tell who was an actor first and a personality, wanting to be a personality like third or fourth. And, you know, it's kind of like that Jerry Maguire talking to Cuba Gooding Jr. Look, I can show you the money, but you got to dance. And he's like, look, I'm just here. And then you got the flip side, which is Ernie Hudson, who puts on the Ghostbusters outfit and does the Ghostbusters dance at the convention.
Yeah. And then too, man, it's all about who's managing you, right? Because they should know your personality. They should know what you like and don't like and set you up for success.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a problem when you get into all these tribes and clans, you know, and then you're part of a crew, and the crew dictates how you're presented, and you might not be top dog on that crew list. You know what I'm saying? You look at Matisse on one end and you look at somebody else on the other end, and they're all being, you know, treated absolutely the same, but clearly you've got a line for one artist all the way around the entire booth area. Then you got three artists sitting there twiddling their thumbs.
yeah. And, you know, I always just, you know, whenever I meet an artist, I just, depending on how big of a fan of their work I am, I just tell them, hey, I'm a big fan of your work. This is probably tell them, hey, this is my favorite cover. Buy whatever I'm going to buy. Nice to meet you. That's it. I've seen it at cons where some people do too much. They want to take pictures. They want you to take a picture with the book that they signed. They want to stand there and have a conversation with. Nah. That's too much, bro. Now, if you get to a table and you see the artist just sitting there and they not doing nothing, then maybe that's all right to engage in that conversation. But if you see it's a table full of people, it's a long line, like, man, keep it pushing. Like, keep it pushing. Like, this is not for you to, like, I feel like it's not meant for you to have a social experience with the artist where y'all get to know each other on a first name basis. It's for you to get your book signed, to say hi, say bye, and then maybe like like some artists, like now that they done seen me at several different cons and they know my face and they know I'm cool, they don't care if I stay at their table and talk to them or, you know, whatever, or hey, what you doing after the con. But you got to establish that relationship. You can't meet somebody once and expect for them to open up to you like.
Yeah. But ninth, you're also spending money with them and you're fairly recognizable. So they recognize you as also the size of your wallet from the last show too.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean,
as much as you're
100% right, bro. Favor ain't fair. That's what I always tell people. Favor ain't fair. You know, that's just what it is. But you know, most people that meet me, you know, if they meet me once, you know, maybe they like me. Most people like me, but you meet me a second time, you definitely gonna like me. So that's I say favor ain't fair. Plus, I actually spend money with artists, you know, like that makes a difference too. But imagine this: somebody bring their own book to your table. Maybe they sign it for free. Maybe they sign it for $10, and then they want to have a 5-minute conversation with you, take a picture with you, get close to you. Like, you're doing too much, man. You're doing too much. That's you gotta learn how to.
Well, and I'll tell you what, a big line between that is writer versus artist too. I'll tell you what, man, a writer, if they don't got a line, they will sit there and talk to you for a half hour.
True.
It's not like they have to go write a script or anything while in between fans coming up to them. But the artists, they're always doing commissions or they're doing sketches or, you know.
Yeah, you just gotta, and then they got that part too, right? They gotta get all of those, they gotta get commissions done, sketches. Man, like that, man, it's a lot, man, bro. It's a lot. So that's why I always have sympathy for the artists, just because I know they have a lot on their plates. They have a lot on their plates, and you know that can, you know, it can be a lot to. It can be a huge undertaking. It can be a huge undertaking to deal with all of that. And like I said, I'm not making excuses for Souza Micah, but I do know like this was her first, this is
I
her
wasn't
first
trying to
con
throw
season.
just her under the bus, but we were talking about that and the dip.
No, I know you were just using it as an example. Like,
Right,
and I heard all of those same things that you heard, but like I said, cons can be very, very tough, especially when you're doing every single con. I only do the major cons. So imagine she was like Detroit, Orlando, like she doing everything in between, bro. Like, that can wear you out, man. When it's been a month since you've been home, sleeping in your bed, eating at the places that where the food is good, where the food is not good, and just the little things like that. Sorry, y'all. I'm packing up the last of my whatnot orders while I'm on stream. That's why I keep moving.
Who's the biggest person that you haven't met that you're looking forward to meeting in New York?
Really nobody, because I don't determine like once I meet a person, that's when I'm like, oh, I'm glad I met them. Like, so when I get to a con, before I get to a con, I see who's gonna be at Artist Alley, and if I like they work, like, yeah, then I'm gonna want to go and check out and see if they got any OA or see how much they charging to do a commission or something like that. But once I meet the person, that kind of increases like my I'm glad that I met them, or I'm glad that I stopped by they booth, or or something like that. But I don't think it's just like anybody. If I would say anybody that I would seek out would be Scotty Young, just because I missed that opportunity in Chicago to get his autograph, to get some books autographed, and to just meet him. And by all accounts, I heard he was a pretty cool guy, which is probably why he had a long line the entire con. So yeah, so probably Scotty Young, but for the most part, I don't have any just like set like, oh yeah, I definitely gotta meet this person. It's more like a vibe once I actually meet the person. And they was real, because I met the artist that I bought that She-Hulk OA from. He was a pretty cool guy, and I was like, oh, would you come on my podcast, this, that, and the other? And he was honest, and he was like, I really don't do well with podcasts because I'm kind of socially awkward. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it, bro. I take care of you. I'll bring out the best of you and get you real comfortable or whatever.
Right.
And I kind of reached out to him on IG, and he kind of hit me back right away, because I wanted to see if he had more OA, and I was talking to him about some other stuff. But it's like I think it's just a certain way. If you approach people a certain way, bro, you always gonna get a certain type of result. You know what I'm saying? But some people just be too demanding, and it's not necessarily that they trying to be demanding. They just don't realize that, hey, I'm kind of pushing the limits here on what I should and shouldn't be asking for from this person. Hold on. I recall Michael did an IG live speaking of her upcoming con schedule and how she was trying to prepare for her public experience. Yeah, I think so too, Mac. I think I watched her on IG live and she was talking about that. But man, it take a while to get, man. If you think some of these people, like Souza Michael, we don't know if she ever worked with the public like that before. Like this could be her first time being at a con with thousands
I'll
of
go
people.
back to my tribe thing, because she signed up with whatever that group was on that back wall there at Orlando.
Yeah.
And and they get their hooks in them, and then they're like, oh yeah, you're gonna make this much money, you're gonna make this, and then they put you right in between the maelstrom, right next to Humberto Ramos and all that that's on them for dragging her into that, and not, and kind of putting her front and center stage,
Yeah, and then especially if she's not making the type of money that they told her she was gonna make.
Right.
I'd probably be an asshole too. But I actually want to start getting into managing artists, because I think I can make more money than some of these big companies we make.
Yeah, but don't be the middleman. That middleman thing is set to implode. I'm telling you.
It ain't about being the middleman. You got to learn how to facilitate. You can facilitate for somebody and make their life easier. You can make your life easier, because that's money. You know,
Man, if
that's
I had an assistant helping me make slides and actually getting the channel up and running the way I need to, bruh.
Yeah, but I saw Ninth. You got to remember, I did this for 5 years being a booking agent, and I saw all this shit go down with the actors too. We had. I don't know if you remember Erin Gray from Silver Spoons and Buck Rogers.
no, you know, that's before my time. G.
Okay, well, she was the #1 booking agent in all of Hollywood, and she was constantly trying to steal all of these convention, actors. And then there was a person that worked with her and decided she could do it, Julie Caitlin Brown, who was a minor character in Babylon 5. And so everybody was tugging at these, and I'm just sitting there. They called me the Jerry Maguire of Star Wars because I was just that guy that like, hey, look, I book you. I make sure you're in there. If you need anything while we're at the con, I've got people to take care of shit. But it's on you. You know, this is your show. And I don't take all the other percentage points, and I don't leverage you against, convention organizers. There's a whole bunch of games I do not play. And, hey, after 5 years and my son was born and my now ex-wife was like, you ain't going on the circuit no more. I was like, okay, time to open a comic book store. Because it was getting crazy. These people were just like, no, I'm under this tribe umbrella. I'm under this tribe. And then it wasn't the game back then in 2003, 2004 was not like today's Comic Cons. They had exactly like 20 spots for actors. And I'm trying to get 5 of my people in, and other places wanted to get all 20, and you're just like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's pros and cons to everything. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like a bit. I hate to say it this way, but I always feel like it's better to be a disruptor than to fall in line with everything that everybody else is doing, because you always gonna make more money being a disruptor. You know what I'm saying? By being different, you always gonna make more money. That's been proven.
Are you telling me that, Ninth?
I mean, I'm not saying that to you specifically. I'm more speaking to the people.
So I should start being more disruptive, is what you're saying?
No, because you be disruptive in a way like you're telling the motherfucker to kiss your ass. You know what I'm saying? Disruptive. The disruption I'm talking about is like, if everybody else is buying Hulk 181s, you need to be the guy buying 182s. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of disruptor.
Yeah.
It's always better to be like, hey, well, y'all buy y'all 181s. I'm gonna go over here and buy these 182s. It's like saying, hey,
it's a lot like
it's not. I always look at it as something. As people say, oh, well, you shouldn't want to manage artists and play the middleman. I was like, no, everybody else just not playing the game right, or they doing what's traditional instead of finding new ways to help these artists make money to where they ain't got to do every con. Then you ain't got to you can I want to have it.
Flag did. They said, hey, Clayton Crane, let's just staple some acetate to these unsold variants and make some money.
That's bad business. It would have been a better if you wanted to do an exclusive and you wanted to do something with stock that you already had. It was a better way to do that. You know what I'm saying? It was a better way to do that. But that could have been Clayton Crane idea for all we know. Maybe he thought that would be a good idea. Maybe he thought that he could get away with it. Well, we don't know.
Is it crazy that we still haven't heard from Clayton Crane?
No. Not really.
They blamed everything on content creators and didn't even. That's why. Okay, I hate to bring this back up, but this Max saying disruptive might not be the best term. I mean, disruptor now is not necessarily in the millennial term. It's not a bad it's not a bad word. That just means that you different essentially. Is what that means now. But all right, back to what I was saying in the sense that God damn it, Mac, you fucking broke my train of thought.
Yeah, Mac, that's my job. God damn it.
Yeah. it's like damn it. What was we just talking about? God damn it.
Acetate again.
Acetate, yeah. So instead of people doing the legitimate journalist work and trying to talk to the right people and figure out who's to blame for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's to blame for this? Who did right? Who did wrong? They went for the low hanging fruit. Oh, let's blame it on the whatnot sellers. Oh, let's blame it on the on the content on the content creators. Like, you got what I'm saying. You gotta. It's deeper than that. You feel me? Because like Dennis said, Clayton Crane still ain't said nothing. Ain't said a damn word. Now, if that was my book and I didn't have nothing to do with it, I'm first will come out and say, hey, that's my art, but I ain't telling him to do that shit. So the fact that he's saying nothing means that he had a lot to do with it.
I don't know though, because I could also see Marvel before they sent any of those other emails and the couple messages that they sent me. I could see Marvel going to Clayton and going, what happened? Okay, let this thing ride out. Don't say a fucking other thing. Don't say anything.
Right.
And we'll put it all on this other person or this other thing, whatever. Yeah, because Marvel didn't say anything about. Did you notice they didn't say anything about the artists? They were talking about the retailers making variants.
Yeah.
So Marvel already knows who
they're
they're
Clayton
blaming.
Crane. You could never do another Marvel cover.
No, but they didn't say that to Clayton.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you really think there's going to be repercussions for Clayton Crane?
No. So I think that came down from Marvel.
Yeah, they gonna take the lowest common denominator and blame everything on them. But everybody was too worried about with that whole situation. Everybody was more worried about how many of that book people bought and sold, rather than looking at the facts of this company took a product that they had previous release that wasn't selling, threw an acetate on it, and tried to call it a new product and a con exclusive. How? That's bad business, man. Like, that's bad business. That's why I told anybody who bought that book from me on Whatnot that you could cancel your orders, and I would honor it. I would respect it. Because that I didn't notice until I had got back into my hotel room. I didn't even realize that the book was an acetate at first, because when I saw it online, it didn't look like an acetate, because obviously you can't on a 2D picture, it's hard to tell, right? And then even when I got the books, I just kind of got them and then I put them in my bag with the rest of my stuff, and that was it. It was all, it was in bag and board, all taped up. So when I got on Drunken Chat and I was able to sit down and take a closer look at the book, I was like, hold on, why this thing got 4 staples in it? Just looking at it in the bag and board.
Oh, we were already asking that question before you popped on.
Yeah, and then but then y'all got confirmation because I had the book right there, and I could I could look at it and say, yeah, it's definitely 4 staples.
That was one of my big things with CGC on the 3rd or 4th triple down, which was like, oh well, you guys didn't complain about 4 staples with the Stray Dogs acetate. Well, it was like, bitch, that was made by Image. I don't know how Image makes it, but if Image produces a 4 staple comic, that's a 4 staple comic. If Black Flag takes a stapler out and staples it, that ain't the same thing.
It's not. I mean, the way, if it was produced like that from the factory, then that's one thing. But when you go back and make a modification to it, that's a completely different thing. Like CGC, man, people should have been on CGC bottom about that. Man, that thing is still hilarious to me.
But that's why you don't allow this. Because if you allow that, I get to cover up Obama with Donald Trump.
And I've got no problem with that. I mean, look.
I'm going to put this on every show I can until this thing's worth more than a UF4.
But see, have you tried to sell one of them? Because that thing might go for more than a UF4 acetate.
I'll wait a couple of years.
But let me ask you a question. So what if I went and bought a bunch of Ultimate Fallout 4s and I made my own acetate cover for it and stapled it to it? Like, what can Marvel really do about that?
They will never work with you again, and that's about all they'll
No, I'm
do.
saying if I'm not a retailer, if I'm just a guy in this house that wants to make some custom comic books, and I want to sell them.
There has to be some sort of legal remedy that they could do to you, and maybe using that Disney lawyer money, they might send you some like nasty cease and desist letter and things like that. But they'll just call it a bootleg.
I can't tell you all the, but I'll tell you, actually, I had this idea a long time ago, but it was for something completely different, you know, and I actually had a bigger idea, but I'm not going to share that because I still think I could do that.
I think it has a lot to do with the intent.
I wanted to print bags that had advertisements so that when you put your comic in the bag, it had a banner down below here, so that when it sits in your comic collection, it sits in your comic book collection. When you pull it out, that ad is still on the bag. Because at the time, I still do. I bag and board all my comic books. So I was like, how can I make a custom bag? Then you have to deal with China and you have to deal with container, which I'm so glad I didn't do because of the shit show that the docs are now.
Yeah, you know, it's weird with the comic book covers because I know there's people out there that make custom covers. I know there's somebody out there that's doing the custom Joker and Batgirl cover that was deemed too hot for TV. You know, that one.
Oh, yeah. Batgirl. 38,
yep.
Isn't it?
So, I mean, there's people out there that do that kind of stuff, and I don't think they get in any trouble because it's intent. Now, if Ninth was out there adding acetate covers to X-Men #1s from 1963 and trying to go out there and try to acetate Magneto variant the first issue, you know what I mean? Like, Marvel might have a little bit of a problem with that. It might send them and be like, whoa, buddy. That book came out 1963, first off. Second off, acetate wasn't around back then. Third off, this is a trick from like the new age. What you doing?
Right. But that's what I was saying. You know, my overall thing is that, you know, if people really wanted to, they could get real ignorant with some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then what's Marvel gonna do then? You know? That's why I say when you said that's what earlier, like what I was saying about whatnot, is that you can't make a blanket rule to try to fix a specific problem. Just fix the problem, bro. Fix the problem as they pop up, figure out a solution that works for that problem and fix it. Stop trying to blanket fix everything. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what CGC is doing right now. They backtracking on the bad decision that they made, and they throwing up a blanket fix instead of addressing the bank problem.
Yeah, that's the whole argument there, Eric, in the chat. How could CGC give out a blue label originally and now give those green labels without it being a discrimination issue? Well, because they've already made their money, Eric. You know, and now they're like, oh, but if you hate the green label or purple or whatever they're going to do, give us a little extra money for our next Clayton Crane signing, and we'll make sure it has a yellow with a green outline. So it'll be less noticeable as a green label.
Yeah, that's super foul. That's super foul.
Yeah.
Like, damn, man, I don't even see how people can really give CGC their money. Like, man, both of these grading companies down bad to me, man. Like, if somebody had money and knew how to market and could just put together a good product, man, like, I feel like the grading market, like, I know a lot of people think CGC will always be the standard, but I don't necessarily feel that's true. Like, CGC done did a lot of stupid stuff over just like the past year alone that I can think of. CBCS only problem is that they don't know they don't know how to capitalize on this.
It's like Bill Burr when he was talking about the Hillary Trump election. He's like, "You blew it, Hillary. You got the other guy who does 10 things a day that anybody else would be able to capitalize off of, and you're just down there fumbling the ball." You know, CBCS is kind of Hillary in this one. It's like you've got all the shots you could take are right there. CBC is handing it to you. How did you not figure out a better way to capitalize?
Yeah, like man, that's a great analogy. Like you should have been figured out a way to capitalize, you know. And
and then hey, let's talk about the card game though. How much did that Mickey Mantle go for? 12,500,000.
Yeah, something like that. But
did you notice what grading company that was?
No, what company was it?
SGC. They just came around 2 years ago.
Wow, that's crazy.
So the number one card in all of card collecting was graded by a company that just started 2 years ago. Now, it could be a pump and dump. I don't know. I don't have $12 million to investigate, you know. But if I was SGC, sure, I would figure out a way to get $12 million to buy an SGC 9.5 and make that the number one card. But guess what? I guarantee you the next morning, a whole lot of people that didn't give SGC the time of day probably sent some cards into SGC.
Right.
Because whatever that gap was before, they jumped over that gap and they are now the number one.
Yep. And as far as that 12 million go, like McClay got mad when I said it last year. It was some sale. And I was like, man, that ain't nothing but money laundering. Like some of them NBA cards that be selling for millions of dollars. I was like, bro, that's nothing but money laundering, or you know, tax or a fancy way of doing tax evasion.
Yeah,
right.
You know, little stuff like that, man. Like you.
Well,
like,
you know what I said it was like. I said it was like McFarlane buying the McGuire ball for, I think he bought it for 1.5 or 2 million. And one of my buddies was Todd's CEO at the time, and he was like, "You know why Todd bought that ball? Because every person we talked to wanted to talk to Todd about that ball. And when they were talking to Todd about that ball, Todd talked to them about business. They made more money in business because everybody knew Todd bought that ball, and everybody wanted to talk about that ball, but they were at the table talking business." He was like,
right, and they forgot why they was there.
Yeah, and he was telling me that they made so much money from people he knows, only made the meeting happen so they could talk to Todd about that ball. And
Right.
Todd would just carry it in his briefcase and throw it out on the table and roll it down to people. "Oh, you want to see the ball? Here you go." And then they'd send a $5 million deal, like, you know, an hour later.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's why, you know, and whoever's got that $12.5 million card, I guarantee you, he's showing it off to somebody. He's probably making a $100 million deal because they're holding the Mickey Mantle card. I love you, Mac City.
So all right, that's something that I've always had a problem with. Is this is my problem that I've always had with the CGC sales for more than CBCS. It's okay, so obviously people have way more books graded by CGC, right? So you got that. Search algorithm, people don't understand how big of a factor that is in when you're selling stuff online, because if you don't type everything right so that you can hit those keywords so that search engine is going to pop your eBay listing up, nobody is ever going to see it.
It's worse than that. It's worse than that. Same thing. Search algorithms. When an average Joe goes to Google and types in, "How do I get my comic graded?" the word comic grading or comic graded tags up CGC first, because that's literally their name.
Right.
And CBCS is, comic book certification service, whatever. So
See,
it's
if I had a company, I would call it CBG, comic book grading.
there you go.
Well, after this show, somebody is already going to go to GoDaddy and start up the website and
Damn,
trademark it all.
I just gave away $1 billion idea for free. Then I also thought, like Dennis said it a long time ago, somebody should do like, how the Beckett grading is, like with the 4 points and then and the subgrades and the average. Like somebody should do that with comic books, because I think that will give a way higher level of accuracy when grading comic books, and it will push aside a lot of that. Oh, is this a 9.8 or is this a 9.6?
Yeah, real quick, easy. Spines, corners, centering, and whatever your fourth one is, surface.
Yeah, or you could do pages. It could be the
pages.
fourth one.
Yeah, a 10 in pages is white pages. A 9 is off white. Cream is a 6.
Who is Halo? They grade comics?
Yeah, that's that Australian company.
I ain't sending my books to Australia.
I send my books to Australia.
Well, but I'll answer Mac City, though. Mac City, you ever driven past, I don't know what town you live in, but I guarantee you there's a Dunkin' Donuts a block away from your Starbucks. And there's a line of people to pay $8 for a Starbucks drink. And there's a half a line at Dunkin' Donuts to get a same iced coffee for half the price. I've literally equated that entire argument to that example.
Yeah.
And up here in Michigan, we have Tim Horton.
So Steve, this is the second time he done said this. Who lost 100 submitted comics? Dennis, tell the story you told the other day about CGC and what.
So like I said, this came from a friend of a friend, and he called me up because he knows I love all the tea. I love all the tea about CGC, and he called me up to tell me what. Yeah, I know. He called me up to tell me that his buddy had like 100 UF4 in the bag, and he called him up about a year ago, said, "Hey man, I'm going to start submitting these." And he's like, "Dude, I don't have time to press them." He's a presser. And he's like, "Okay, I'll just send them to CGC and have them press it." So he sent 25 copies of UF4 to CGC or whatever their CCS or whatever their pressing company is. He sent it to CGC, and then CGC sent it to CCS or whatever that is. And it sat there. And then it finally cleared, and then it finally went over to CGC, and it finally got sent back to him. And he opens up his box, and there's 17 UF4 first prints between 9.2 or 9.4 up to 9.8. So he first of all, they did a shitty job pressing them, because if you have 100 of them and you send in 25, there's no reason why your presser should not be able to pull 9.6s and 9.8s out of every one of those. There's very little. Would you do comics memorabilia? Yeah, absolutely. Late night. If I sold everything tomorrow, I would just immediately start having fun and buying stuff. It's my favorite part of the job is buying shit. It's the selling it that I hate. But he got back 17 first prints, and he got back 8 Bagley second prints signed by Bagley and remarked green label, because those got sent by somebody else and either got pressed by CCS and then sent to CGC and somehow mixed. At some point, somebody's yellow labels for a Bagley signing got mixed with his first prints. Well, yeah, but that book was a $2,500 book a year ago. Smart pig. So both of those are a dip.
Yeah, honestly, there's been a lot of books that I look at in CGC, and then if I see a CBCS, I'm usually tempted by it. You're muted.
If I didn't have 3 or 4 of those, Ultra or Ninth, you're muted.
Oh, Pig. What I was saying was, Pig, you got a good deal and somebody else got screwed over. You saved what, $230, and somebody else, no, you say $330, and somebody else paid $330 too much.
You bought the Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee and it kept you awake just the same as the Starbucks.
And here I am, who left that book at 20. I'm sorry, that was a 1 in 25. So I left that book on the shelf at $15.
Hey, you can't win them all, kid.
No.
I had 4 or 6 of those. My pictures on Instagram, when that book was starting to get hot, I had like 4 or 6 of them sitting in my box. And I was like, oh.
And then too, think about this, guys. We live in an era of digital information, right? So let's say somebody is getting into comic books. They got $10K. They want to spend on comic books. They get on YouTube and they start watching all of the different talking heads, and they be like, well, you get more money for CGC. So without them having any real working knowledge of the differences between CGC and CBCS and buying comic books on the secondary market, they automatically say, oh, well, I'm buying nothing but CGC slabs. And
that's the one thing I had a problem with Neo sports cards when he got into comics. He said, I will only buy CGC. Okay.
And here go my thing. If you buying slabs, really, if you buying slabs, now see, Pig, this is where you're gonna play yourself. I'm gonna crack it and resub to CGC. When CGC bring you back a 9.6 or a 9.4, or they rip your book or drop your book, then you're gonna be like, oh, well, that CBCS, they graded that book wrong. They had it at a 9.8, and CGC said it was a 9.6.
Exactly. Buy the book, not the case.
Exactly. And then eventually, and see, too, it depends on who's selling the book. Because I'm mainly, for the last year, the majority of my submissions was CBCS. I never sold a CBCS slab for under market.
I'll wait. And I mean, how many record sales do I have? 9th?
Yeah, a lot of them. It depends on who's selling the book. You know what I'm saying? And then if you want, okay, if you buying a book, because I'm telling you, Pig, you're not gonna get, if you get 670 for a 9.6 in that Moon Girl 1 in 25, what you made? Well, after grading, you still at a loss like that, man. Look,
I held the record on that book at 2,500 for the CBCS case.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell him, man. It don't matter. Like, here go the thing about it. If you get a buyer who really wants that book, that's educated, they know that CBCS is just as good as that CGC.
Okay, I found it. That's how many I had when I pulled those out of the box. I had 6 of them, and they were all 9.8s. I think I had 1 9.6, and I think I gave that away, or I traded it off. Oh, I traded it off to John Z.
Dwayne being messy. He said 10K on VHS tapes.
What's up?
Hey,
Easy in the house.
How did the car sale go on? Whatnot, brother?
I didn't crack into any boxes, but I sold a couple of singles that outdid my comic show. So
I'm telling you, that's what I said at the beginning of this show.
It looks like I'm going to cards.
Soft. Switch over to cards. Be diversified.
Exactly. So that's why I've already established myself, but hey, I also sell cards.
Yep, I'm gonna slide into Marvel cards on maybe Saturday.
Oh dang! I guess I might have to slide into Marvel too at some point in time.
Snap!
Yeah, I heard they increased the price of these boxes. So from what I paid for it, so I'm kind of happy I saved the box sealed. But
yeah, Pig, there's nothing wrong with submitting to CGC. I just think that the CBCS CGC price gap is not necessarily, like a 100% true thing.
Here's another book. Literally, nobody has this book, and I was unable to sell it for 9 or 10,000, but that's what it should go for.
Oh, the Captain Marvel 14 1 in 25, or is it 1 in 50?
I've never liked that book. You know why?
Because
just because the writer said so. That somebody who was in that book or got retconned into being that person's appearance. Remember that?
I don't actually. Tell us.
So it was the writer who said that the person who appears of ethnicity in that book with the earrings and stuff like that, somebody who doesn't even look like Kamala. If it is Kamala, it's her when she's 45 years old.
Really?
Yeah, have you ever?
Hold on, what y'all talking about?
I thought she was 14. In that one.
Captain Marvel 14. It's supposed to be the cameo appearance of Kamala Khan.
Is that the arm appearance, or is that the 17?
That's 17.
Okay.
By the way, that was a collection I bought because I love my Art Adams long shot too.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead, keep talking.
I forgot.
Kamala. It's not Kamala.
Oh, well, no, I mean, 14. I don't. Kamala with 2 big golden hoop earrings. Like again, look at the character in Captain Marvel 14. If you read the issue, everybody swears up and down it's Kamala. The writer said it was Kamala, so all of a sudden that became Kamala. But then when 17 came out, everybody forgot about 14. 17 second print. The 17-second print that got pushed to the forefront of.
No. I got to argue with you I got to argue with whoever that is saying, because that's the image, right? And she's got the poster on the wall of Captain Marvel. That's supposed to be Kamala, right?
Yeah, I may have them backwards then.
Yeah, I think you got it backwards, Ultra.
Well, there was definitely something that was a first appearance.
I thought in that second print she wasn't in the book, but people were saying that she was, but it was the gold hoops that you were just talking about.
Yeah,
actually in the 14.
Yeah. Okay. Then that's where it's at. So then the only thing that you see her in is that last panel where she's flexing the Ms. Marvel arm.
Right.
Hence the cover, right?
Yeah.
And then Marvel throws everybody for a loop by accidentally putting it in that first.
Whoops. First full story before number 1. They did the same thing with Nova.
You know, the bitch of the bunch on that? Marvel matched your orders on that book.
Yeah.
So I ordered
and then it got a second print.
Yeah, and it got a second print. So they doubled up my order on that book for free, and then it had a second print. I'm like, fuck, I got 200 copies of this. Why did I want a second print?
And then Red Hood bought them all, the second prints.
Yeah.
What?
But I still think that, I mean, hey, we've already seen. Here's the thing. You know what? And let's talk. Can we talk about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody's like, oh man, Miss Marvel Spec is dead. Blah blah blah. Oh man, She-Hulk sucks. Nobody's watching this show. Everybody hates this show. Oh man, Falcon and Winter Soldier's dead. Captain America 25 is garbage now. I don't think a lot of these people understand the levels of these books. And right now, for every person that has a subscription to Disney Plus and is watching She-Hulk or Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel, there is 10 people that are going to pay $10 a piece to go see a movie that she's eventually going to be a breakout character in. Think about the way Paul Rudd's Ant-Man went from Ant-Man popularity to Avengers Ant-Man popularity. Kamala Khan, She-Hulk, all these characters have not seen their day on the big screen, and the big screen is where the spec is made, is where the spec money is made.
Yep. I was just talking about that the other day. I was like, all of these characters that we done seen on Disney Plus, we haven't seen them on the big screen yet. Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan, Moon Knight. It's so many. Like, you can just sit back. Remember when that first Kate Bishop solo series was going for like $300 in the 9.8? You can get that book for like $7,500 right now in the 9.8. Probably cheaper than that if you look hard enough.
Well, it's all because people don't forget that there's a time to buy and a time to sell.
Yeah.
And everybody's thinking now is the time to sell now that the show's here. No, the time to sell was 3 fucking months ago. Now that the show is here, now that the show is here, everybody late to the game is bringing their copies to market, and that's why there's so many copies available for sale.
But also, look at Abomination spec. Tails 90.
Well, let me also throw this out real quick. Direct She-Hulk #1 is less common than newsstand.
Is that when they were doing a dash on the directs?
It's Slash, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 1980. Well, no. The Slash. I have the Slash on my Uncanny X-Men 129, but I don't have it on my She-Hulk.
Oh, okay. What was the symbol?
Yeah, I think it's got a spider face on it.
Spider face. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a direct for that She-Hulk. Like, you run into newsstands all the time.
It's 1980. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, and then that was the last Marvel character Stan Lee created. She-Hulk.
Well, Ravage 2099.
Oh, okay. But I mean, like in that, that gap until what that was like. When was Ravage 2099? Was that in the 90s? Like 91, 90?
Oh, here's a hot take from way back when. March of 2020. Apparently, everybody's favorite Comic Tom had a chat at C2E2, and I was like, sorry, you don't get to tell Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld apparently wouldn't do CGC at some point.
Yeah, he had signed an exclusive agreement, an arrangement with CBCS at that time.
Oh, was this one? Yeah, when Liefeld wasn't doing CGC stuff. What was it? It was.
Tom replied to me, "What are you talking about? You're like shitting all over Liefeld for choosing CBCS." And at that time, he had just worked the booth at CGC all C2E2. That was right when the pandemic had like come in to full bloom.
Well, I gotta dip out, guys. I'm about an hour past my actual bedtime.
I got to dip too.
Yeah, I'm about to head out as well. I was gonna hit y'all with some mouse spec, but I just hold off on that.
5 minutes.
Well, okay. So this is the solicit for issue 42. I'm not sure how well y'all can see it, but I'm gonna just read this. Miles Morales' iconic 42nd issue as the number of the spider that bit him and the winning lottery number for Brooklyn Visions Academy. The number 42 means a lot in Miles Morales' world, and Saladin Ahmed celebrates this landmark issue with an oversized spectacular alongside amazing Miles Morales Spider-Man artist. Miles Morales has been through it lately. Time for a little R&R now, right? Not when there's good that needs doing, and when something dark and insidious rears its ugly head on the streets of NYC, Spider-Man is the only hope to end it, but Miles will need help from his friends, his family, and the most unexpected allies if he dares to even stand a chance this time. So
that means new villain.
Yeah, that sounds like new villain to me. There are, from what I know right now, there are no ratio variants for this book. I'm gonna go to League of Geeks
I
right
think there's
quick.
going to be though.
Now, right here, League of Geeks says that this is a final issue. I know for sure that this is Saladin Ahmed's last issue,
And Torrin Clark's.
and Torrin Clark's, but they're saying that this is a final issue.
Okay,
Which,
I'm seeing a solicit for a B, a C, and a D cover.
so I can go through the covers. So this is the Chris Allen variant. He's the artist who's did the interiors for, I want to say, like probably the last 20 plus issues, if not longer. Which this is the cover that I like the most. I'm hoping that this will turn out to be a ratio variant, but I'm not sure. This is the Torrin Clark.
That's 41.
No, hold on, that's 41. I'm sorry. That's the Torrin Clark. This is the Marvel Voices, because they doing those right now. This
Black's
is the
fine. Good luck.
This is the Brian Stelfree's Miracle Man, because they doing the Miracle Mans right now. So I think this is just the cover B.
No, go to that other one though.
The other one's
this is the store exclusive. This is the
Ivan Tao.
Ivan Tao Unknown. It's one more.
Yeah, there's one more regular cover, and
well, no, the cover A, which is the Torrin Clark, which is a dope cover.
But the Ivan Tao's in the old suit still. That's how you can actually identify which ones are the store exclusives. After a certain point, all the store exclusives got him in the old suit.
I'm not going front. It's another. Oh, LA Knight. That's what I was thinking. Who's holding the tarot card, right?
Right.
That's something that triggers kind of. So right now, as we know, there's no variants for this issue. No ratio variants for it, and it's two store variants: the Unknown, and then the one that I'm involved in. And there's possibly a first appearance of a new villain in this issue. I think this will go under order. It might not, but I think we could have another Torrin Clark 1 in 25 scenario on our hands if that cover. I don't know if it's a way we can figure this out, but if this cover ends up being a ratio, like I think we might have another Tosin 1 in 25 on our hands, because I definitely think this will go under order.
Well, final issue, new villain, a reboot coming right after that. I think you're right.
I'm thinking this is going to be the final issue, because another thing that I was thinking about is that legacy number. What's the legacy number on this? Let me see if it'll show me on the.
It'd be the cover A.
Cover A, if it'll show me legacy. No,
I
don't have it on
the
there.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me look up the legacy number really quick.
Well, look up 41. It'll have it on 41.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm looking up 41.
Just go previous.
Oh, you know what? Good idea, Dennis. Your brain is good for something sometimes. So that's legacy 261, 281.
Yeah, so we're coming up on Miles 300, which is going to have a million
19,
ASM 300 homages.
Yeah, and 19.
It's actually not Miles 300 though. That's the problem. It's got the first run of Spider-Man that McFarlane ran.
Oh,
yeah.
They counted in the legacy numbering here.
Okay.
So I feel Marvel needs to correct that. I think they need to adjust that legacy number strictly for Miles. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Show what we need to do the math on that and see what his true legacy number is. But maybe they will reset it so that they can. Maybe the number will be at a way where they can spin it, into this next series, and maybe issue 10 or 15 or something like that will be.
I'm not saying they're not gonna keep the numbering where they've got it on pace for 300 and shit. It's just there's Web of Spider-Man that they could bring back at any time. Spectacular Spider-Man has been brought back at least twice. And then of course Amazing Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man. Those were the 4 titles. Like, I remember there being so many fucking Spider-Man titles. Like, oh, dude, I gotta buy these 4 hologram covers. Like, damn. It was bad. Like, as a kid collector, it was a lot.
And they
of
just
work.
bought back Spider-Man. That's getting ready to come out.
Because they got Ben Reilly, right? Well, they just did a Ben Reilly Spider-Man mini series, but Miles Morales Spider-Man is based off of the actual McFarlane Spider-Man #1 run.
Yeah,
and that's why 234, the Legacy 234, is where they put them, and that's how I knew this was going to happen one day. I'm like, they're messing this up so bad by putting Miles's run in there, but Miles didn't get the Amazing in his name at first, and they were when he was in the Marvel Cinematic or in the Marvel 616 universe, the Spider-Man run that they gave him right after Secret Wars, the one with the #2 with him holding up the Captain America shield, that basically was picking up right after the last time a self-titled Spider-Man went. So I know where they're getting it from, but I understand there's a lot of Miles fans that want him to have his own legacy numbering.
Did they include the Ultimate runs? And
No.
stuff like that?
No, because
that's just weird
universe.
then. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense that it wouldn't be a legacy thing because it's a different universe and all that. But you would think they would include that into the run too.
Well, remember, this Miles took over the life of the Miles that was in the 616, who's the what's his name? Ultimatum.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's the Miles from the 616 universe. So, man, time travel and universe combinations are tricky editorially.
So what you're saying is they're just going to pull a number out of their ass, and that's the number.
Yes, and that's the number. No, there's no arguing it. And they did, as far as I remember, had a lot of people bitching about certain numbering and being like the numbers are off.
Yeah, I gotta go buy Agent X to complete my Deadpool run.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
do you know about Agent X and Soldier X?
I actually don't.
Okay. Agent X and Soldier X were created at the time when the lawsuit finally came to fruition about creator having some type of stake in the sales rights of characters. This is the same lawsuit that actually resulted in people who have nothing to do with creation of characters getting credit, just like Fabian Nicieza, who drew word bubbles, getting credit for Deadpool in this lawsuit. So because Rob Liefeld was actually in the lawsuit suing Marvel at the time, they killed Deadpool, they killed Cable, they revived Cable as Soldier X, and then Agent X was supposed to be Deadpool. But then when the lawsuit was settled in a whatever amicable way, that's why they revived Deadpool in the Agent X run. But the last few issues of that Udon drawn Deadpool run that lead into Agent X,
Funeral for a Freak, and then after that where it's Sandy and Outlaw and all of them that who appear. The Playboy Bunny issue where he's sitting in the chair and it's got the girl in the Playboy suit, the Playboy Bunny ears, that era, and Black Swan.
Yep.
Aaron Yee, are you Black Swan?
Am I?
Are you Deadpool's mortal enemy? Like, dude, the dude pulls in and he's like, oh, you know what? Like, Deadpool has to blow up a castle to try to kill the guy. He's like a badass.
Yeah.
And then Agent X is there to replace him. So it was a weird time at Marvel, man. But Agent X eventually turned into a completely separate character, they did him real bad.
What's amazing is that that entire thing was to say probably hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars total. You know, because they didn't even know what the tip of the iceberg was on what these characters were worth at that time.
And then look at what Marvel did by hiding the X-Men for years.
Why make millions, billions when you can make millions, Marvel?
Put me in charge of X. Let Ultra be the director of X and the editor of X. And wow, I promise some good stories. Like, did you guys know Cable has the same similar mutation to Apocalypse where he can alter his size?
No.
I didn't know that.
Cable is one of the most OP mutants to ever have been created.
Is he still the kid from 201?
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, yes. No, it's the kid from 201. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, X-Men
I don't know how Baby Spec never plays out because...
Well, it doesn't work when it's Cable, but it works when it's John Kent.
Right, exactly.
Baby
or you got to be a test tube, right?
Right, yeah.
Or that's correct. You know, it's got to be
Wolverine 80.
Test tube DNA.
X-23.
X-23 on it. That's a good one.
Wolverine Spec always throws everything off because Wolverine fans have to have everything Wolverine. That's why that Nabisco is the stupid book that it is in rarity.
I wish I bought one when they were cheap.
Yeah. When they were cheap? Never.
I traded.
Affordable.
The greatest trade ever.
I'm sorry, late night Cable or Gambit? Is this even a serious question? Like, are you kidding me? The guy's a telekinetic and a telepath, as well as can mass displace, body slide, bring in guns via voice command. Like,
okay, here's how you tell.
Body slide, big gun, and then he pulls in a big gun and it doesn't even do it.
You're missing the entire point.
Uranus.
How many pouches does Cable have? How many pouches does Gambit have? That's the only thing that matters in the 90s.
Yep.
Well,
pouch power.
Gambit has that trench coat, right? So
yeah, but Gambit was also wearing a banana hammock.
That's true.
On his first cover for full cover appearance. My phone is blowing up, bro. What the fuck's going on?
All right, I'm going to take off, guys.
That's mailing him. All right, y'all. Everybody about to take off. We're
about to end the show
for a night.
Oh,
Thank y'all for coming through, but dudes is tired, so dudes are about to go to bed. Well, I'm about to eat, watch TV, then I'm gonna go to bed. But we out, y'all.